Good morning, I'm Toby Gillis. Jude Bellingham misunderstood. It's official. Jordan Henderson can't speak highly enough of England's oft-questioned number 10.
A lot gets written in the media, and I find it hard to read sometimes, really, because I just know how big an influence he is on this team.
Henderson thinks Bellingham is the man to bring the X factor to England's World Cup. Their opener against Croatia is live on talkSPORT on Wednesday night. Victor Gyökeres and Alexander Isak were both on the score sheet as Graham Potter's Sweden gubbed Tunisia 5-1. But Sweden's two best goals came from a man who could have played for the other side.
Shot comes in and they do have a spin. What a strike. Brilliant. And it's that Manayari who started the scoring, and he will finish it, and this time he does celebrate his goal.
Yeah, Sweden's Yasin Ayari's dad is from Tunisia, but told him to play for the country who welcomed and developed him. Meanwhile, Liverpool target Yan Diamond impressed in Ivory Coast's 1-0 win, courtesy of Amad Diallo's late goal over Ecuador. We understand RB Leipzig want over 100 million for their 19-year-old winger. Whoever goes on to win this World Cup will have to put up with Donald Trump hanging around on the podium. FIFA have no objection to Trump repeating his trick from the Club World Cup. And as Scottish council workers enjoy their World Cup bank holiday following that win over Haiti, talkSPORT's David Tanner has still got work to do, I'm afraid, and he isn't happy.
For FIFA to schedule the game at 2 o'clock in the morning was an absolute scandal. And all the politicians have been out there freeloading, getting first pick of the best tickets. Not one of them has done anything about it.
Scotland's second group game against Morocco kicks off at 11 p.m. It's live on talkSPORT on Friday night.
talkSPORT News.
Social media is to be banned for under-16s from next year, and the US and Iran have agreed on the framework of a deal to end the war. Emma is back at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Sort your new tyres this spring at a time that suits you best, from the comfort of your home or work 7 days a week, with our mobile tyre fitting service. Conditions apply.
A risk of some showers moving north and eastwards, warm in any sunshine, although cooler on the east coast.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is how to win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Good morning, this is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs with you through until 1 o'clock here on talkSPORT. Very happy Bank Holiday World Cup Monday to our Scottish listeners.
Thanks.
More of which later. So Andy, what's coming up after an eventful first weekend at the World Cup?
Coming up over the next 3 hours, former Scotland midfielder Charlie Adam tells us what we learned from the Haiti win. We're also in the team camp with Shabana Hearn. Alan Pardew gives us his take on the tournament so far. And Alex Brooker weighs in on Dutch goal celebration songs and Roy Keane's shorts.
Controversial shorts on Roy.
Excuse me.
We also want to know where you'll be inserting your own hydration break. We'll discover what our listeners in Scotland are doing with their World Cup bank holiday. And we'll reflect on the game if you want to give us a call. And Creature of the Night, our Creature of the Night reports from the ungodly Sweden-Tunisia 3 a.m. kickoff.
Oh, thank goodness, because I missed that one.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there's all this, plus our weather expert from Fox New York on England's players hunkering down in Kansas. Tim Vickery brings us the latest from Brazil after their unconvincing opener. I hope he doesn't say whack-a-mole again. And our USA expert tells us whether he's daring to dream after that big 4-1 victory.
Yeah, big statement performance by Maurizio Pochettino in his safari suit, more of which later on. Alex Brooker will be joining us.
They do that. That's what Poch's teams do. They get better. You know.
They do, yeah. A very good performance. It is 5 minutes past 1. Good afternoon. Sorry, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Andy. I've got to keep doing that.
Yeah.
It sounds so school assembly. It sounds like, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Jacobs. Bit of breaking domestic news.
Oh, yeah.
Real Madrid have just announced they've signed Marc Cucurella from Chelsea
Yeah.
for £51.8 million. So your immediate reaction as a Chelsea fan?
Shoulder shrug. I mean, so what? He had a very, very poor season last year. He's a great player, and when he wants to be, he's great, but that's not what he's been. So, if you get the money for him, fair enough, really.
You think
You want to keep people that are happy. You don't want to keep people that don't want to be there. So,
no, that's very true.
Fine.
So get the money and spend it elsewhere, you're saying,
Absolutely, yeah.
Fair enough. Well, we've got plenty of World Cup to talk about. It just feels like it's been about 1,000 games over the weekend.
So many games, so many notes. Have they finished organising the open top bus route in Glasgow yet?
Oh, come on. Don't you start.
Talk about getting carried away.
Well, look, no, I don't think they are. We're going to hear from one of the Tartan Army in the aftermath of the game. Our old mate Ali Ross.
I think they're going to have needed more goals. We'll speak to Pards about this. How many points are you actually going to need to be those 8 third-place finishes?
It's 4, isn't it, really?
I think it's 4. And so they've got to get something else
Or
out of
3 if you get a lot of goals.
Well,
you might
that's
just
it.
squeeze in.
Nobody knows at the moment. I've written who's definitely going home so far. Haiti, Curacao, South Africa and Tunisia. Don't think of anybody else.
Right. Most of the teams have got gubbed.
Yeah,
basically.
I think they're definitely going home. But, that still leaves quite, another 8.
I actually think most of the Scotland fans, if you read the reports and the match reports and stuff...
No, Ali Ross was reasonable about it.
I think there's a lot... Yeah. Everybody's... we all saw what we saw. Haiti had plenty of the ball. Their shooting was a bit off. But they did have plenty of the ball. And they had plenty... Oh, yeah, that was the one, wasn't it? That was the big chance towards the end. But you don't know what kind of confidence Scotland are going to get from that win. You got 3 points in the bank. That makes a big difference. You got something to hold on to. Yeah, it wasn't the easiest watch for the Scotland fans. So if you want to reflect on that, still Scotland fans, you can let us know. In the cold light of day, you got a whole bank holiday to reflect on it now. So 03717 223344 if you want to give us a call and give us your take on what you saw at the weekend. And tell us what you're up to today.
Oh, hello.
Blimey, hang on.
Dear, hang on.
Producers coming in. Sorry, sir. We have to have these hydration breaks.
Yeah, it's mandatory.
It's about halfway through.
It's quite cool in the studio.
Halfway through the intro.
Hello, lads.
Hello, yeah. Well,
how are we getting on?
Yeah, good. I see. Oh, he's brought the laptop.
It's a strong start.
Oh, yeah.
Quick hydration break.
Yeah.
Could do a bit more pace.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Remember, it's the World Cup, guys.
That's true.
Keep it going.
So just get on the front foot a bit more.
All right?
Just fantastic. Thank you very much, John. Good lad.
I feel I've lost momentum now.
I didn't really... So do I. I think that's...
I don't know how we're going to pick it up.
That's really bothered me. That I've got nothing to say anymore.
I thought Sean was very good there, wasn't he?
Just basically... It's quite a good performance.
It was actually, yeah.
Best supporting artist.
I noticed that during the Brazil game, it's quite late.
Yeah.
All these.
Well, you get the idea with that anyway. So, yeah. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, and during the Brazil game, the thing came up on, and even the commentator mentioned it. Don't forget to buy your TV license, like 12:15 at night. Oh yeah, I'm definitely. That's what I'm going to do at 12:15. I'm going to break off from the game and go and get my TV license.
And then you got the detective van coming through your door like police, smashing your door down at 12:30.
It would have been marvellous. Yeah, but
okay, hydration breaks. They're all the rage. We're going to be talking about them with Alan Pardew a little bit later.
It's funny though, the number of people on social media going, why are they having these breaks in stadiums with no heat where it's 20 degrees? Because you have to have the same rules across the competition for everybody. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fair because tactically it would be an advantage to the teams that were able to have a break. So if you play, I don't agree with it, but if you're going to have them, you have to have them in every single game, however ludicrous it is.
No, I totally agree because, Ancelotti got into his Brazil side, and we'll chat to Tim Vickery a little bit later on. I think he made a difference. He used his 3 minutes well. You could argue Curacao was slightly undone, although I don't think they were going to beat Germany. But still, it was 1-1, wasn't it, when the old hydration break came?
Tinsel hates the hydration break.
Oh, does he really?
He tried to talk Arsene Wenger out. His whole idea is to have bowls of water along the pitch and the players can peck into them.
Well,
that style.
Martin Samuel made a really good point in the Times today. If it's just for hydration and not for advertising or anything else,
get the coaches away from it.
Do what they do in cricket. Someone runs out with the drinks. The two teams stay in the centre circle. The coach can't come out. Obviously, the water boy or girl can pass on a bit of info from the bench, but it's not like having 3 minutes and getting the iPad out, is it? It's true.
Steve Holland appointed the water boy or something. Great idea.
If it was just
South African rugby coach.
Yeah, exactly. But if it was just hydration breaks, that's what it would be, wouldn't it? Players stay in the centre circle.
No, so it's very true.
Look, it's 4 quarters. We all know what it is, and you made the point, didn't you? You do wonder if the Premier League will look at that and think, "Oh, you know what?
Yeah, I know it's a danger.
A little bit of advertising. one of the betting companies could weigh in at that point, have a bang on that.
It's not a good idea, is it?
You know, it could be a bit of a rocky road, couldn't it?
But,
where would you insert a hydration break? Remembering the time of day, please, folks. But they're all the rage, the hydration. If you're going to introduce one at work today, it might be quite nice. If you're a boss of a company, not in Scotland, you've all got the day off. But if you're the boss of a company, you can just wander in, halfway through the day, or just blow the old whistle.
A lot of people.
Give everybody a bottle of water. Tell them what sort of day they're having.
Vape breaks.
Yeah.
Smoke breaks.
There's a lot of vape breaks going on. That's pretty true.
But I was thinking that there are some good things. The VAR is miles quicker.
Yeah,
that Japanese second goal would have taken Stockley Park 3 minutes minimum. Absolutely minimum.
I'm not sure we need that Victorian tableau we get. Do you know those old pictures from Who Do You Think You Are? With a picture of the family posing. And they're all just sort of sitting there looking at you. They look like ventriloquist dummies, didn't they? Maybe they are waxworks. I
did have a thought about ref cam, though.
Yeah.
What happens if the ref cam took one in the midships and then he examined himself to see if they were still there?
Oh yeah.
That would be good on the ref cam.
We look down. Is that what you're...
Yeah.
It's a bit of a weird thought process.
I know, it was really.
I don't think I've ever heard the term in the midships.
Well, I thought, it's early morning.
I'm looking next door.
I didn't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
You all know what I'm talking about, don't you?
That's fantastic.
What, taking a ball in the midships? Where do you think that might be?
Do you think the kids are going to start using that? You think all the on TikTok it's going to get big?
Definitely not.
I took one in the midship. It's such an old man thing to say. That
all
is.
right, I'll just say the real.
Well,
phrase.
we're going to look a little bit later on into the Great England football robbery. Some of the stuff that was stolen, but they've got it all back. 4 pairs of boots, 5 pairs of shoes, 3 signed jerseys, goalkeeping gloves, 4 navy shirts. 2 stuffed lions, apparently, Leo, multifunctional power strips, not a clue, a JBL speaker. The blokes who nicked it, apparently, their reasoning was, it seems they face 1 count of receiving stolen property. They say in mitigation that what they did was that they were invited to take some of the property by an unidentified FA employee.
Oh, come off it.
Which does sound true, doesn't it? I mean, you can imagine anyone at the FA just saying to 2 van drivers, if at any point, lads, you want to pop in the back and just help yourself to her, you go for it.
That's brilliant.
You jump in there. I was going through the list. I was surprised there wasn't a camper van, 3 coffee machines and some expensive chopsticks.
Oh, yeah.
Because you get so used to these shopping lists now, don't you?
Yeah, that's...
One for the Scotland
That was the Scottish bus, yeah.
So, imagine that, yeah. What are you getting up to on your bank holiday? Do let us know, and we'll talk a bit of Scotland and the performance and just how nervy you were. I mean, this is how the nerves get to people. Gordon Strachan watched the game in bed, right?
Yeah.
And worked his way. It's very Alan Partridge, this.
Yeah.
Worked his way through a 4-pack of Cadbury's Flakes.
In bed?
Yeah.
That's now, right mess
of all the
sheets.
Mrs. Strachan fell asleep. When she woke up, she said,
covered in crumbs of chocolate.
"Where are them flakes?" And he says, "I've eaten a lot." He got through 4. I mean, of all the chocolate bars, really.
Yeah.
To eat in bed. Can you think of anything worse than the flake?
No. And why was it superstition? He watched it in bed?
No, it was a nervous energy. He had to eat 4 flakes.
Why didn't he get up and watch the game?
I'd like to think Gordon now measures that. You know, for me, it was a good game. I never felt Scotland were going to lose. It was a 1-flake game. Haiti was a 4-flake game. So I'm going to have to measure Scotland's trouble in flakes from now on. Anyway, what did you do during the nerve, Scotland fans? How did you deal with it? talksport.com/H&J, text to 81089. 03717223344 if you want to get in touch. Talk a bit of Scotland. We'll talk England later on with Alan Pardew. We're going to be joined by Alex Brooker. He's noticed some stuff, and we're going to talk about Roy Keane's shorts, very controversial. We now know the suppliers. We now know the suppliers of that fine outfit. He kicked off the tournament. It's just the sort of thing he'd call someone out on in a different mood. You could just hear Roy saying, "What are you doing on telly, man, wearing shorts? Grow up, put a pair of trousers on."
With shorts at all.
You've got, I know you're a proud shorts wearer.
Well,
this is because
very hot.
Andy actually says this. He says this out loud to other people. He actually said, and he said it to me, and
they're not as good as they were.
He'll say things like, "In fact, my legs are my best asset."
They used
to
be.
Who says that?
No, they've gone off now.
The sort of people who say midships.
They've wasted
when they mean meat and 2 veg. Anyway, we'll kick off with Pards. He's going to join us. Oh, blimey. Some of the trends that Alan Pardew has noticed, former Palace and Newcastle manager, and his take on the World Cup so far. So much to get stuck into after all the football. We're going to hear from you, as we said, 03717223344, whatever you want to talk about, including that Scotland game. And what are you getting up to on your bank holiday? You can let us know that as well. Alex Brooker joins us. We'll be with Shabana Hearn in the Scotland camp in Charlotte. Brian Sciaretta, our US soccer expert, tells us whether he's starting to believe. That was a big statement win from the US team.
Stan did say Paraguay are the worst team he's ever seen.
They were bad, weren't they?
I didn't see it, actually.
And Charlie Adams going to join us to tell us how many flakes he got through during that match and other matters besides. But Tim Vickery over in Brazil and you on the phones, emails, texts and tweets. It is Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT with you through until 1 o'clock with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
What is interesting there, I think, is that Bellingham is saying the group didn't connect as well as it could have done. Why is he saying that?
As a deflection. Listen, every player knows where they stand. I'm going to give a story, but I'm not going to say the name of the player because that would be wrong. But I will say it was Martin O'Neill because he won't mind me saying this. Okay. You'll get enjoyment. There was a player who came into the Aston Villa changing room, and he was like, "I need to talk to the manager." And us as players were like, "Yeah, you got to go talk to him. You got to go talk to him," because we knew kind of how it was going to go. So he bursts in there and he knocks on the door and he's all bold and brave. And then Martin O'Neill goes, "What? How can I help you?" And he goes, "I need to know where I stand." He goes, "You haven't played for me and kicked the ball for me in 3 months. You know exactly where I stand. Now turn around and get out of my office." Players know where they stand. If you're starting, you know where you stand in the manager's eyes. Yeah. If you're a substitute, you know that the manager does like you, but maybe he thinks in formation or whatever, that's something else. If you're not playing, you know also
clear,
exactly
right?
where you
stand. The memo's clear. I mean, the interesting thing is that it's you get an insight into the psyche of a player, but the most important thing is the follow-up question to what he says. And there isn't the follow-up question. There's just a one-way transaction of we needed to feel loved, we needed to feel, in a certain way, and we didn't connect together, and perhaps we didn't celebrate wins as much as we should have done. Well, there's a real, that's the nature of the beast. That's the society that we live in. Sometimes things are taken for granted, and it's the criticism that comes more readily than the praise. But if you're a team, do you want to be in a big team that has expectations of you? Do you want to play for a big club like Real Madrid that has expectations of you? I would imagine he'd spend more time complaining about playing for Real Madrid and the expectations upon him as a Real Madrid player than he would playing for his country. Right. And the challenge to that sort of question should be, well, what is it you expect of a manager? What is it you expect of people that are supporting you? Because you are lauded and applauded and revered. Yes. I think it's to do with a lot of... you heard rumours coming out of that camp last in the Euros about who didn't want to do press conferences, who didn't want to come up for this, who didn't want to come up that. Harry Kane apparently had an issue about Jude Bellingham not doing enough public appearances and all that sort of stuff. That might be gossip. And some of that might be right. But that should not be an insulation.
Hello, I'm Matt Forden from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
the beautiful game, the global game. Now it's the turn of the Scots. Low ball in Adams, what a save! Up to McGinn! Deflected in! Super John McGinn! It's Scotland's first goal at a World Cup for 28 years!
Part Army behind me, up on the barriers, going absolutely wild.
We talked about having a lead for half-time. We've got it. Now we've got to go and build on that. Brilliant.
Scotland are off and running at the World Cup. More than 10,000 days had passed since Scotland last saw a World Cup goal. A whole generation of fans have waited for a moment like this. It's 80-0. Scotland won.
Yep, it was nervy, but they got over the line, and who knows how they can build on that. It's not going to be easy. We've seen Morocco and Brazil, though Brazil were a bit sketchy. More on that later. Let's get the thoughts now of former Newcastle and Palace manager and close personal friend of Kim Kardashian. It is Alan Pardew. Good afternoon, Pards.
Morning, guys. How are we doing?
Good morning. I kind of keep saying afternoon.
We should preface all of this, though. It's a bit dangerous to read too much into the first game. If you think back to the last World Cup, Argentina lost their first game. They wanted to win it.
Argentina got to a final in 1990, having lost to Cameroon.
So even though Brazil weren't great, I wouldn't write them off yet.
Well, if people weren't listening to you and Madge talk about this, you were at the Monaco Grand Prix and the Kardashian entourage came through and you found yourself being sort of forced towards her. I'd like to think she turned around and said to you, "Aren't you Alan Pardew, scored the winner against Liverpool in the 1990 FA Cup semi-final?" She didn't say that, did she?
Unfortunately, no. She was kind of a fixed glaze, just to walk pretty straight and not talk or speak to anybody.
Wow.
But it was quite funny. The security guard was just adamant that I actually walked alongside. I said, okay, no problem.
Fantastic. That's good.
Yeah.
Andy's right. I mean, look, we can't read too much into these games. Your overall impression so far, Alan, what have you made of it so far? And don't say rubbish.
No, I think all the big teams look well set. You know, they've all sort of showed their hand. I enjoyed the Japan-Holland game. I thought that was a great quality game. Drifting the game between one dominating the game to the other, obviously pushing for the goal. And I think we'll see a little bit more of that. And obviously last night, Sweden getting lots of goals and Germany getting lots of goals. Yeah, there's lots to talk about, which is great because obviously that's good for us guys. But no, so far I've been very pleased. Usually these pre-games, these first games are so cagey.
Yeah.
No one wants to lose, but I think they've been okay.
I wonder why that is. That's a very good point because you expect a lot of 0-alls, 1-1s and 1-0s. But we have seen maybe there's a big difference in the quality of some of the teams. We certainly saw that in Germany, Curacao, and one or two other matches as well. There are just so many teams.
That was such a brilliant moment, though, was it, when Curacao scored?
Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, Infantino's a lucky man, you know. However much FIFA try and gnaws it all up, football's a wonderful game.
Yeah.
You can still throw up a moment like that. And that's, in the World Cup so far, the football has been really good. He's fortunate.
And they were slightly undone by that hydration break, Alan, weren't they? Because this is the thing. They are, I mean, look, I'm not going to say Curacao would have won it, but it did affect them because they were 1-1. They just equalised. Germany were rocking, but Nagelsmann got 3 minutes with them to sort them out.
Yeah, this hydration break is good news for coaches because, good and bad news, I suppose, but particularly if you're struggling in that period just before, you can get your team back in and reassemble them and perhaps change tactics a little bit. If you're winning or, you're in a position of dominance, sometimes it can knock that out of you a little bit. So I think it's going to be one of those situations where we're looking at these breaks and seeing trends starting to appear. Obviously, we've not seen it before, so it'd be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
Also,
I certainly think in the final, when we get to the really, really big games, they're going to become very significant.
Well, we kind of saw it of Ancelotti, Alan, as well, didn't we? You had to get into his boys because they were not at it at all against Morocco. And I think you did see a difference after they emerged from that hydration break.
Yeah, as I say, this is a good time. I mean, it might not be a tactical kind of message that you want to give, more a message of responsibility, what they're carrying on their shoulders, the support of their fans or, just get some emotion in them. Sometimes teams, that I've managed to just drift along and you're like, do you actually grasp the situation? What's going on here? Like, come on.
Yeah.
So, I think, as I say, it's a great tool for coaches and I'm pretty sure as they get more used to it, they'll get better at it, and they'll start, bringing things in. That would make sense.
It affects the momentum, and they have this thing. Have you seen this graphic they have? The match momentum graphic.
Yeah, I quite like it.
Oh, just in case you haven't got two eyes that can actually see. Honestly, it's ridiculous. It shows it. Oh, here's a lot of momentum before the break. There's the break. Oh, a lot of momentum after the break. Eventually, it's I don't know.
People like graphics, Andy.
They do.
Probably one of the more interesting performances was Turkey, who really fancied their chances against the Aussies, Alan, before the game, and had a lot of the ball and a lot of chances, and the Aussie keeper played very well. But there was a bit of complacency in them. They're one of the few teams that have gone in so far, thought they could just roll the opposition over, and they got their pants pulled down a bit.
Yeah, and of course, we haven't really seen. That's probably been the biggest upset so far. But I'm sure there's bigger upsets to come. But Australia played terrifically well in terms of their defensive unit and made it difficult for Turkey. And the pressure on countries like Turkey, where their support is like so intense. Your team can tie up, and I think they did a little bit. They certainly got nervous in and around those last moments when you need to be calm to finish off a sort of penetrating move or whatever. But I just think that was one of the great games so far. That's what you want to see. You want to see like an upset like that, and Turkey are going to have to rebound. I generally think that the games, maybe because the third place now really, like you can go through in third place, and if you get a win, there's a good chance that obviously you're going to get one of those slots. So I think that kind of has helped this first round of games, because obviously if you get the win like Scotland did, you're almost there.
Yeah.
So
we think you need 4 points though.
Yeah, you might be able to 3 points with a lot of goals, Alan, or definitely 4 points will get you through.
Yeah. But my point being that if you got a great, the first game is always edgy for the opposition if you're playing upper level. Like if you're playing like Turkey for Australia, for example, might as well give it a go. Whereas before I always thought it was like, let's get a draw out of it. You will remember, you guys, because you're as old as me, a pair of you. Some of these first games are awful.
No, it's true. This is much better. The football's been great. I think IFAB get a lot of stick, but I like the quick subs. I think that's good.
Yeah.
They get off and on in 10 seconds. And also the ball inside, I think I should go back to this. The ball should be inside the quadrant. It's got worse and worse over the years of players just not placing the ball correctly, and you can see they're clamping down on it.
Yeah, they have been. And there was that moment as well, which apparently was just outside the law, where we saw Almiron booked rather than Tim Ream, who would have been booked and could have lost the game further in the tournament. That's what VAR's for, isn't it? But people say, well, it didn't follow the protocol. Who cares? It was a wrong decision, and VAR was able to put it right relatively quickly. I didn't have a problem with it. What did you think of it, Alan?
Yeah, well, let's be honest. VAR has so far had a quiet period, but I think we all know that that's coming in, VAR at some stage, on a really kind of grey area. This is where I have a little bit of problem with VAR. Not so much the obvious ones like that particularly a decision, but when you get those half handballs, is it handball? Is it like, who's perceiving it as a handball? Was his hand in a position of unorthodox kind of place, etc., etc. So VAR's got a big part to play. Let's not get carried away that it's doing a good job.
Yeah. One of the things we've all been concerned about in the Premier League all season is this grappling at corners. It's something they said they were going to cut out.
There's not been a lot of it.
There hasn't been a lot of it. There does seem to be a bit more separation in the area. I don't know if players are taking any notice of that, but looks like it.
Well, the big set play team, England, haven't played yet.
No.
So we'll see, because I think that rule was generally perceived to be aimed at the British teams, England and Scotland in particular, who are very, very good at set plays, long throws, etc., etc. So I think that will rear its head a bit later. But I still think that maybe, when they send out these briefs and, they're going to change the rules, I think players and coaches kind of do adapt a little bit. And I think you're right in what you're saying. I think it has been a little bit better.
Alan Pardew's with us. We're going to get his thoughts on Scotland. If he was Stevie Clarke, what would he be saying to the players after that win? We're here through till 1 o'clock this afternoon. We'll be in the Scotland camp at Shabana a little bit later on. Charlie Adam will join us for a chat, and lots more besides.
For you, Carl, obviously playing right back, you would have played against these two guys, and we don't quite know which one will start, and that's Anthony Gordon and Marcus Rashford on that left-hand side. Now, you've played against both. I'm not going to say which one's better, but what differences are there between the two, and what makes both of them as good as they are? Obviously, Rashford being at Barca, Anthony Gordon just got the move to Barcelona. What are the differences between the two?
I think that just says it there. There's not really much with one team signing them both,
yeah,
you know, and wanting to take them because they fit the personality that they want to play the game at. I think, listen, they're both extremely quick players, and they both got an eye for goal as well. The main thing is that I feel that in tournaments that I've played in previously to this, there's not been many other goals than Harry Kane, and that's what we need to find. And as having one of them on the pitch, you know, with Bakayoko or Noni on the other side, I think they need to bring some goals into it.
The fullback situation. Reece was a little bit more reserved last night than O'Reilly. O'Reilly, we know he's a midfielder that plays left back. He's an 8 that can be a 10. He's incredibly talented. I mean, you'll know all about him, right? Reece, I felt, was a little bit more structured to his game.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because of his hamstrings. Maybe they're managing that. I know at Chelsea they've had to manage that because there is some fragility in and around there. How important is that, though, that Nico Riley does that job on that side? Because his link-up play is exceptional. He really is a major talent.
I think you can't take that away from Nico. What he's done at Manchester City and arriving in the box in areas that you don't expect a left-back to get into just shows what he does offensively. But I think Reece James played a very intelligent game last night. You know, from watching it, he managed himself really well. You don't need to peak now. Reece.
Don't believe everything you read. Jordan Henderson doesn't recognise some of the stuff written about Jude Bellingham, who he calls a great teammate off the field and on it.
And what he gives us is just something really special, really. I think he really gives us the X factor in our team. He's had big moments in his career. He's a big game player. He's got experience in tournaments.
England versus Croatia is live on talkSPORT on Wednesday night. Meanwhile, Isak and Gyökeres both scored as Graham Potter's Sweden beat Tunisia 5-1. Ahmed Diallo nicked a win for the Ivory Coast over Ecuador. Watching for us was talkSPORT's Mickey Gray.
The future's bright, isn't it, for Ivory Coast? Certainly in those wide areas. Diamonde, a real star, isn't he? I mean, he's got great feet, wonderful ability.
Liverpool are keen on Ivory Coast winger Jan Diamonde. We understand RB Leipzig are holding out for over 100 million for the 19-year-old. Now, as Scotland wakes up for its World Cup bank holiday, Steve Clarke's determined to enjoy himself. He's thankful to have a great squad.
They've had bad results, but they've never let me down. And that's why I can come to a tournament like this and enjoy it. I've never been to a World Cup. I've waited 62 years to be at a World Cup. I've been in football 44 years. This, for me, is everything.
And Tyson Fury rocked up to the White House wearing a Donald Trump for Prime Minister baseball cap. Justin Gaethje beat Ilia Topuria to take the undisputed lightweight title at the UFC Freedom 250 event on the White House lawn. More at talksport.com.
Good morning, Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT with you through until 1 o'clock. Alan Pardew is with us. We're going to talk some England and hear from Jordan Pickford very shortly. But first, Alan, your thoughts on that Scotland performance and kind of where that leaves them. I mean, they say they've seen the other two teams they're going to come up against. We don't know what kind of confidence, despite the fact it was a nervy game, they're going to take from that win.
Well, I thought they, as Steve Clarke, there was a lot of pressure on that game because they had to dominate the game. They had to try and win the game, something that not really, top of what they do. They're very good against the better sides. They're quick on the counter, etc., etc. So they was asked to kind of take the game to them, and I thought they struggled with that a little bit. I think the result was everything. Steve Clarke kind of reflected that in his post-press comments almost straight away. He almost wanted to spit it out to get it out there. We was under pressure to get the win, and we got it. It. So I think that showed exactly how important that game was. I thought the Tartan Army was in great form, and that's sort of like a 12th man to them, obviously. So great start for them. I think it doesn't really matter the level of performance. They've got good players in the team, John McGinn, McTominay, etc. They could still get that result that they need, probably, as you say, maybe a draw against one of those two teams to get through.
Yeah, I agree with that. As a manager, though, I wonder if you please for Graham Potter, because he's taken such a lot of stick. People like me, of course, as Chelsea fans, but also West Ham fans. He had a really awful time since he left Brighton. But it seems to me that something about him and the way he is chimes with Swedish people, because he certainly had a very effective little spell there.
Well, I managed Graham Potter for a small period as a player, and he was always a thoughtful, very kind of... he didn't always start for me, but he always was a good team member. He said the right things at the right time. And I think, him going into management, I tried to actually take him to West Brom as my assistant when he was doing well in Sweden initially. I think he's a good manager. I think, as you say, in Sweden, his profile is huge because he did so well for a very small team there. And it looks like, when you look at Sweden's 11, I was very, very surprised that they struggled to qualify, because when you look at them, they got great players almost everywhere, particularly at the top of the pitch, which they showed yesterday. So I think Sweden are one of those sort of dark horses. And my wife's Swedish, so I have to say that anyway. But Graham, I like Graham, and as you say, like all managers, you have great periods, but you also have some major downtime, and you have to readdress yourself and come out not just fighting, but you have to come out better. And I think he's done that. I think those experiences at Chelsea and West Ham will have armed him, particularly in the the profile of a World Cup. But so far, so good for him.
Did you ever get the opportunity to manage at international level, Alan? Did that come close at any time?
Well, I got an inquiry when I was manager at Newcastle. I can't remember what period it might have been when Gareth was getting the job. I can't remember. But it wasn't no more than that. I didn't go for the interview of the FA, and put my tie on and that. It was more or less kind of just, you're in the frame and we're looking at it, etc., etc. Wow. But I genuinely feel a little bit upset that we have a German manager still, because obviously I'm an LMA member. I want an English coach there. I do wish him very, very well, of course, but I still think we got coaches and managers in this country that could do the job.
Let's hear from Jordan Pickford. He's been chatting to talkSPORT ahead of the game against Croatia on Wednesday. You hear the game live on talkSPORT, of course. And he was asked about Jude Bellingham's recent comments that things were not right off the pitch in the Euro 2024 camp.
I thought it was a good group. I've always said we've had good togetherness ever since 2018. You live on a journey, you go on a journey with everybody, and you've got to smile, you've got to be happy. I've always said as well, in tournaments, it's not smooth sailing, it's always going to be a roller coaster. People will have down days. You might be sick of each other for the odd day. That's part and parcel of, but this camp, the manager wants that brotherhood, that togetherness, what I mentioned earlier, and he'll keep pushing that, and I think it's down to the players to keep driving that. But for me, on a personal experience, I love every minute when I'm away. Having the crack with the lads, having a bit of fun. Even if I'm getting battered myself, I'll take it on the chin. But that's what it's about. It's about just enjoying them experiences, and that's what I enjoy being an England player.
That's Jordan Pickford chatting to our own Faker others.
We're all guilty of it, but the media are funny about Bellingham. There's a story in the Mail yesterday. Jude's girlfriend in bitter feud with her homeless mother. What's that got to do with the World Cup?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the same also with that sort of... And they've all done it. I'm not blaming Faye, but that line of questioning, it's not helpful.
No, but I think I thought it was an interesting comment because we kind of got the sense with Gareth, who you know well, that one of the great strengths was getting that mood right in the camp. So to hear someone like Bellingham say he thought it was a bit off in 24 was interesting, Alan.
Yeah, I mean, I picked up on this myself a couple of times already. I think, and when you get a game and it's really disappointing and you have people that you admire, particularly in the media, a lot of ex-footballers, ex-managers, etc., coming for you, i.e. saying he's not at his best, he doesn't look right. It weighs heavy, and I felt it weighed heavy on Bellingham, the criticism last year. You could almost see it in the way he played, not last year, in the last tournament.
Sure.
And I think I don't think he enjoyed it. And if he didn't enjoy it, then he's going to take a negative view of the camp. So I think there was a little bit of that in there. Probably the performances, when you have a really poor performance, which England did a couple of times, but still got a result of a win or a draw or something, it's reflected in the dressing room. People were like, pointing fingers and get your finger out. We got to be better than this, and and I think that tournament was just like, I don't know, it just did feel sticky. I think one of the reasons Henderson's back in the camp, I think there does seem to be a better feel about it in this build-up, which is great. We haven't had the dentist chair or anything horrible happening. Those who remember that, but it'll all kind of implode if we don't get the performance. That's how it works. So they've got to deliver.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, with Bellingham? He does seem to be... I mean, the other thing is the camp is quite leaky. It seems to be... Maybe it'll be different now. They're in sort of Kansas and they're there, but the squad leaked quite spectacular. We all knew it before it was announced. The latest one is Gordon to start over Rashford.
Yeah, that's right. They all seem to know.
Yeah. I mean, he played very well in that last game. Is that what you'd be doing if you were Thomas Tuchel?
I do think that Gordon's pace and his directness and the fact that he can go pretty comfortably both ways, and particularly better than Rashford going on the outside. So I can see why that is a strong possibility. As you say, I think in the modern world with mobile phones and players talking to family and agents, I'm pretty sure we're going to know the team. So that doesn't surprise me. I think Bellingham's in a great place. Actually, I know we've been talking about him, and I thought he was. I think it was very honourable of him actually to talk negatively about the last camp. So I think he's in a good place. It'd be interesting, Rodgers and Bellingham, which one he goes with. I'm guessing it'll be Bellingham, but Rodgers will be very hard done by if he doesn't get a start.
Yeah. I mean, as we've been saying, it's hot out there. Maybe not as hot as it, for 2 drinks breaks a game, but it is hot. You're going to need players. You're going to need, let's use that term, finishers. Players are going to be involved.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be a slightly different feel to that. I don't think there's any slight on a player if they're not starting the game because they're going to be involved at some point.
Yeah, of course. But, my experience of players is that no one wants to be a finisher.
Yeah.
Trust me, no one. So, it still hurts that you haven't been selected. I think, they're great mates. And I think that is definitely going to help Thomas. The fact that Bellingham and Rodgers are, so close and played together when they were 7 and birthday parties when they were 5 or God knows what else. So they're really tight. And that will help in this scenario.
Yeah. Just a quick one on Cucurella. That's the big domestic news today. He's gone to Real Madrid for just over 50 million quid from Chelsea. I mean, Andy was saying if a player doesn't want to be there, then fine. He says he's a player that he feels when he's on it, he's great, but he didn't have a great season last season, Andy, did he?
He didn't.
So a big loss to them. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah, he's a strange one, isn't he? You know, he's one of those kind of irritants for other teams because obviously he throws himself on the ground and he can be a little theatrical at times. But when he's at his best, he's definitely good enough for Real Madrid. I mean, you know, he's put some sterling performances in over his career. I agree with Andy about last year. He wasn't at his best, but then at Chelsea was at their best. No. Let's be honest. It was really strange.
Good at getting forward and getting goals and all that. He's a good player.
And he's often good for a red card for a hair pull, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Which that's
changed now. Though.
They're going to lose that, aren't they?
But you know, there's been a couple of times when he's been up against. I think Yamal was sticks in my mind. I mean Yamal, where he done an absolutely brilliant job on him. So you know, now and again he can really keep a winger quiet. And he has that great ability to get forward as well. So, yeah I think it's a good signing for Jose. Jose's making his mark. He's coming to the Premier League and taking a few, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. I think probably a few more to come. Yeah. But, Alan, good to talk to you. We'll catch up with you later in the tournament. All the best. Thanks very much.
Cheers, guys. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Alan Pardew, former Newcastle and Palace manager there with his take on the tournament so far. Alex Brooker will join us a little bit later on. We'll see what he's been making of it all. There's been some controversial moments away from the pitch. We'll be chatting about that. We're in the USA and Brazil camps as well. Say Brazil, not that convincing. It was one of those games. I mean, the second half of that game was a real stinker. It was a great terrible. First half, Morocco-Brazil. I wish I'd gone to bed now. It was a real non-event, wasn't it?
I don't know. I got up and watched the second half.
Oh, really?
I was asleep and then I woke up and I thought, I'll watch this.
I think a lot of people have been trying to balance their days.
Very difficult.
Yes. Watching
I saw the Ancelotti eyebrow come up at one point when the goalie was injured towards the end of the game, and obviously Ancelotti thought he was time wasting, so the eyebrow really took off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We've seen a bit of that. So the World Cup Daily podcast continues. Adrian Durham, Stuart Pearce, Jim Proudfoot were at the Dallas Stadium. They break down all the fallout from the game between the Netherlands and Japan. Also asked one of the big burning questions surrounding the tournament, is our very own Stuart Pearce a secret Scotland fan? Well, what about that? If you want to hear more, tune in to the latest episode of the talkSPORT World Cup Daily podcast. It's available now on your favourite podcast platform. We're here with our good friends, Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
First player up front I've gone for Neymar.
No, mate, honestly.
What do you mean? Don't start. I'm giving Neymar a free roll as well.
Mate, Neymar, the most overrated footballer of his generation. I'm not having it.
Cundy, don't.
No, I'm not having it.
Don't,
no,
I'm a big Neymar.
No, he
doesn't overrate.
He does. The most overrated footballer of his generation.
Oh my God. At Barca.
No, not having him. Not having him. Not having him. No, not having it. Nope. That's the music stopped.
Cundy, please, mate.
No, not Neymar.
Who's a better player? Neymar or Hazard?
R9. Oh, give me Hazard every day of the week, mate. Mate, give me... Is it... No, don't get me on the Neymar train.
Okay. R9's playing with him. R9's
take Neymar out.
But mate, come on. Neymar. Pace. Skill.
No, he's got a heart the size of a...
Yeah, but mate, he made you enjoy football watching him.
No,
that's a typical centre-half.
No, do you know... No, give me R9, right? I'm not having Neymar. No, not at any price.
Neymar, Suarez, Messi.
No, give me Hazard. Give me anyone. You don't want Neymar in your team, mate.
What do you mean?
You don't want Neymar in your team?
What he won with Barca?
What he won?
Well, he's part of it, mate. He was outstanding. Come on.
No. Here's a stat. When he left Barcelona, he never won a major honour again. And don't give me...
He left Barca for the dough, didn't he? Obviously, to PSG.
Well, that goes down... It's a black mark in my book.
know, but...
No.
Conde, we've become very close, mate.
No, I know, but we're going to fall out of a name.
Yeah, it could be, mate.
No.
Please, mate.
No.
Wow.
No. No. Scrub him out.
Let's break.
Scrub.
All right, he's out. Thiago's in. Thiago, you in from Brentford. Go on, mate, you're in. Shows what you got. One season wonder.
Duracell's Extra Mile on talkSPORT. Different, better, unstoppable.
Yes, time for today's Duracell Extra Mile feature. We'll be picking the players we think went that extra mile, those players that bring a game-changing performance, an unstoppable power. And there's a few to select from over this weekend. Kai Havertz, I mean, look, it was Curacao, and there'll be tougher games along the way. But scored good goals, stepped up, played well.
He's playing with a lot of confidence after Arsenal's end of the season. I mean, Germany have got so many weapons.
Yeah.
And, they're going to be, it's their defensive thing you have to watch. But attacking-wise, they're great.
The Liverpool fans would have been keeping a close eye on Yan Diomande for Ivory Coast, who got man of the match in that win against Ecuador. And, cover your ears, Rangers fans, because you had him there on trial about 3 years ago and didn't fancy him by the look of it. So players train on, though, don't they?
Of course they do. Yeah,
but they're talking about 100 million quid now. So, he looks a real player. And the thing is, not getting the business done before the World Cup means the price tag's only going to... If he has a good one, price tag will go.
It always used to be a big mistake signing players on the back of their World Cup.
Yeah.
But you know a lot more about him now. So.
I think we've all got one. Ours was... it's like a holiday romance, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's basically like you go on holiday, you meet somebody,
and
then you go to them or they come back to you after the holiday. It's never quite the same, is it? Ili Dumitrescu was an absolute world beater for Romania, came to Spurs and, with respect, stunk the place out.
The Scottish fans, they went the extra mile.
They certainly did. Well, I'll add the Scotland fans, more on that in a few moments' time. They certainly did go the extra mile and got a very nervy team over the line. Balogun as well. Arsenal fans will know him well. He played well in the USA game. Had a cracking performance.
He did. Yeah.
And Patrick Beach, the Australian goalkeeper, who worked very hard to keep Turkey out in their 2-0 win.
Good win. I didn't see any of it, I've got to be honest.
You've not seen the highlights?
No. Well, it's only so much time in the day, really.
Well, look, tell me I speak to a representative of the Tartan Army, who I think he's on his way out for the Morocco game. It's Neil, the Scotland fan. Hello, Neil.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Yeah, we're good. So that's the plan. You watch the first one at home and you're off for the Morocco game.
Buzzing. Got the Scottish tunes on, got Ali's Army on the day, packing my case, going out to meet my brother and my mates who were at the first game. So, first World Cup for me. I'm absolutely buzzing. And, something, a bit of negativity for the press and that about the first game. But at the end of the day, we got 3 points.
Yeah.
Big 3 points. And that was the game the pressure was on,
Well,
you're still going to need a point from either Brazil or Morocco. I think.
Looking at it,
not that you can't get it, but you're going to need it.
Watching Brazil, I mean, it depends what Brazil need from their last game, but I'd say on the face of it, you've got a more chance of getting a point off Brazil than you have Morocco.
I wasn't impressed with Brazil. I thought Morocco were by far a better team, and I think obviously a bit more nervy about the Morocco game, to be honest, than the Brazil game, but it doesn't guarantee us the 3 points, and we could have, that McGinn chance was probably big. That would have given us a +2 goal difference. But you know, I think he'll change it. I think he'll change the team the next game. I don't think he'll maybe just go one up front.
Yeah.
Maybe bring in Christie or McLean, because I think that even in the Haiti game, in the middle of the parks, we were losing the ball. We never got much from McTominay or McGinn. But you know, 3 points in the bag, 1 goal. Everything to play for. We're the underdogs now, and that's when we play better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And then also,
you didn't do more than you did.
You shouldn't underestimate what having those 3 points in the bag's going to do to the team. There was a lot of nerves. You could tell that. Yeah. I mean, McGinn and McTominay, you know, they had big moments, and obviously McGinn got the goal, but he can play a lot better than that. A lot, apart from sort of Ganadok, who was fantastic, and 1 or 2 others. Not everybody was sort of 8 out of 10. So you've got room to get better, I think, Neil.
I think definitely, and I think when we come up against these bigger teams, that sometimes when we play better, you know. So we're the underdog next 2 games. We were the favourite the last game. We got 3 points. Everything to play for. Tartan Army, 12th man behind us. You know, I think we'll qualify. Yeah.
They took over Fenway as well. They went and watched a Red Sox game and were singing "Flower of Scotland" and Super John McGinn.
Was there last night.
Oh, really?
5,000 there. 5,000 there. Amazing, man. He's saying even in the fan zones and that, you know, there's small pockets of other nationalities, but the Tartan Army have just taken over. I can't wait. I'm absolutely buzzing. Fly out tomorrow morning at 11. There for 1. Before there's plenty of tenants.
Great. Have a great time.
Have a brilliant time. I'll take it you've obviously got a ticket, Neil.
Yeah, we've got 5 years I've gone to the Morocco game. Yeah, I think it's a bit of a nightmare getting after the game, getting back, but who cares? You get a point.
You won't care. Exactly.
You will if you lose.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, have a great time. Safe journey. All the best. Thanks very much. There's Sir Neil off to the World Cup for the Morocco game. Ali Ross, Tartan Army foot soldier, the Sun TV columnist, was there. He did a slightly throaty voice mail for us the morning after the night before, so we'll hear from Ali later on.
His report was pretty realistic in the Sun today. Actually.
It was. I mean, look, it was a nervy performance. Every Scotland fan will tell you that, but as I say, who knows what they can do. That is something to build on. Siobhan Earn's going to join us in the Scotland camp in Charlotte. We'll chat to her later on, and Alex Brooker tells us what he's noticed about this World Cup so far. Interesting goal celebration songs from the Dutch, Roy Keane's shorts, and other matters besides, all to come in the second hour of the show.
Duracell's Extra Mile on talkSPORT. Different, better, unstoppable.
I think you've got a couple of positions that Rashford, Gordon, the centre halves. I know Peter
Saka one on the. You know how fit is Saka?
Yeah, how fit is B? I think you look at it. Morgan Rogers. The big one is Morgan Rogers and Jude Bellingham. Who's going to start? Who's not going to start? Can you fit them both into?
Who's starting?
No, Benny, come on. For me, Morgan's had a fantastic couple of years at Aston Villa. A fantastic couple of years. And to see what he's done for Man City when I played with him when he was coming up through the youth team to then go and do what he's done now, it's not shocked me, but it's a great step in the right direction to where he wants to be. But I think Jude's done it for season in, season out. Obviously, he's had a little bit of an injury season, we're going to say, but Jude's quality is still there.
Let me ask you then, Charlie, because you've been an outside perspective, because all the fans, obviously English fans, are going to say, we're going to win it. And after last night, we're definitely going to win it. After what you saw last night, I know you're going to say England are one of the favourites, but can you see England winning it, or do you still think there are other nations out there that look better?
No, I do think there is other nations that have got a real good chance. I think I look at the Netherlands and I think they're probably a little bit of an outsider. But looking at the odds today, it's, Brazil are probably, and Argentina, two South Americans. You'd expect a South American team to go there. I think it's a shootout for me between France and England. That's what I believe. I think that England have got a brilliant chance. Thomas has made the decision to go and leave these players, Foden, Palmer out, and he's made that decision. And I thought England were really good last night. I thought they'd go and like I say, for me, Stones plays because he can control the game for you.
Yeah.
In the heat, he's very good with the ball. Mark Gahey, very good with the ball.
Alex Brooker joining us for a chat. You've been enjoying him on the How to Win the World Cup podcast with Matt Paul. We'll see what he's made of that first weekend at the tournament. But first, Toby Gillies has the sports headlines.
Talk Sport.
Good morning. In the last half hour, Real Madrid have confirmed the signing of Marc Cucurella from Chelsea. 51.8 million the fee. That includes all add-ons. He's signed a 6-year deal to join Jose's Revolution at the Bernabeu. Now, have you ever asked if Jude Bellingham is a distraction? Questioned if he's been a bad teammate? Wondered if he's too big for his boots? It's all just media nonsense, according to Jordan Henderson.
And what he gives us is just something really special, really. I think he really gives us the X factor in our team. He's had big moments in his career. He's a big game player. He's got experience in tournaments.
Henderson says some of the stories about Bellingham are difficult to read. Remember, England-Croatia is live here on talkSPORT on Wednesday night. Have we seen the future for Liverpool over the last 24 hours? Wirtz for Germany, Isak for Sweden, and heavily linked Diamonde for Ivory Coast have all starred at the World Cup. But Gabby Agbonlahor isn't convinced Antonio Iraola will get the latter.
That performance last night from him as well on the big stage, 19. I think it goes PSG because I think he's going to choose PSG the way they're performing at the moment. And that might let Barcola go to Liverpool.
Diamonde, we understand, will cost whoever gets him over 100 million quid. Isak and Victor Gyökeres both scored as Graham Potter's Sweden beat Tunisia 5-1. Amad Diallo nicked the winner for Ivory Coast over Ecuador at the death. Donald Trump will be allowed to hang about on the podium during the World Cup trophy lift. FIFA have no problem with Trump breaking protocol, just like he did at the Club World Cup. And Lewis Hamilton is refusing to rule out a title challenge this season after winning in Barcelona. He cut the gap to leader Kimi Antonelli to just 41 points thanks to his maiden victory in Ferrari Red. The 7-time world champ says it's just the beginning and nothing is impossible when asked if this marked the start of a challenge for number 8.
Talk Sport News.
So Keir Starmer has announced a ban on under-16s using social media, and the price of crude oil has dropped almost 4% after a deal was reached between the US and Iran. More with Emma at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. Spring forwards with Bridgestone Turanza all-season 6 tyres with a 25,000 mileage guarantee. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
A risk of some showers moving north and eastwards. Warm in any sunshine, although cooler on the east coast.
Good morning, it's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on Talk Sport, and we've had the first weekend of the World Cup. Plenty has been going on, lots of games, lots of talking points, and of course Scotland got those 3 points against Haiti. We'll be chatting to Charlie Adam a little bit later on, and we'll hear from one of the Tartan Army out there. That's Ali Ross, our mate Ali Ross, who sent us a little voice note in the aftermath of the game. Shabana Hearn will be joining us from Charlotte with the team, so we'll assess the mood. And Alex Brooker joining us in this hour as well from our fine How to Win the World Cup podcast to look at some of the things he's noticed. The weather is front and centre from an England point of view again, so they're having a few issues in Kansas, big storms there, and Stephen Morgan from Fox Weather over in New York will be back with an update on the games today and whether he has hydration breaks halfway through his bulletin. Everybody's weighing in on that. I've got a lot of listeners getting in touch about it, worrying that it's a bit of a... We're going to, people...
That's what I said to you, isn't it?
Yeah. It's that kind of worry that it's going to become the norm and we kind of accept this sort of stuff when we should be railing against it, really, but...
Yeah, we don't need it.
It is what it is. If you're going to get away with it anyway, you can get away with it maybe in a USA.
Look, when it's
heavy
hot, I mean,
World
even
Cup.
in August when we come back to the Premier League, there will be drinks breaks.
Yeah, but they won't be built in.
No, and they won't be 3 minutes and all that sort of thing. But
now, Andy.
Yes.
Before we get underway, talkSPORT are an official radio broadcaster of the FIFA World Cup 2026, and to celebrate, we're giving you the chance to win £26,000 in cash.
Right.
And the best part is it's completely tax-free. That's right, £26,000 could be yours. Fund your summer. And you can enter now. Here's how.
For your chance to win, visit talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338 by 6 p.m. on the 20th of July 2026. Text costs £2.50 plus the standard network rate. Or send your name and number by post to Comp 1, PO Box 3190, Colchester, CO2 8GP. I'll repeat that again, CO2 8GP, to arrive by midnight on the 23rd of July 2026. 18 plus, UK residents only. Your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now. It's a network promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com.
So, Andy, is there anything you've noticed you want to talk about today? Share with the class?
Story at the end of last week that Jude Bellingham went to Lionel Messi's barber.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, what about Lionel Messi's hair would inspire you? Is that some ordinary haircut that you could get anywhere? There's nothing. You wouldn't look at Lionel Messi and say, I love his hair. I must go to his barber.
I often look at Lionel Messi and say I love his hair.
I bet you didn't.
I mean, Lionel Messi's got the cut. I mean, look at that could be a 15 quid haircut, couldn't it?
It could, absolutely.
But I bet it isn't.
No, it won't be.
I would
500.
I imagine he probably pays more. Now, Alan Brazil's favourite referee will be featuring in the World Cup. He's Chinese ref. There's no Chinese representation with the team. So Chinese sponsors have got right behind him and his sort of VAR team and his assistants.
Really?
So all the Chinese officials have been sponsored by a big bunch of Chinese brands. And they've got loads of followers on social media.
Is that allowed?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to affect what they do in games.
Well,
but the referee, he's Alan's favourite ref. You know why his name?
No, why?
Ma Ning.
Ma Ning.
Ma Ning.
Ma Ning.
Ma Ning. Yeah, that's true. That's his name. So he will look out for him. He's known as the card master for his no-nonsense approach and willingness to dish out bookings, said the Metro. So look out for Ma Ning.
Yep. Absolutely. Sir Jeff Hurst is backing our Three Lions heroes to deliver a hat-trick of great news this summer. Good old
It's unlikely Jeff would say we haven't got a chance.
They always wheel him out for this, don't they?
Yeah.
Bless him. And, he thinks that they can absolutely bring home the trophy.
Yeah.
And but also it could save our struggling pubs and bring people together like never before. Well, that's definitely true.
Yeah.
Let's hope he's right.
We discovered over the weekend that Kylian Mbappe plays the flute. You aware of this?
No.
He was on James Corden's show, produced by our old mate Ben Winston.
James Galway's show.
No, not James Corden. Well, that's two different stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently James Corden asked him about his flute playing. I don't know if he plays jazz flute. That would be great, wouldn't it? What a great goal celebrate. Apparently he is going to do it for James Corden. If he scores a goal, he's going to do... I mean, I'd be careful.
Like Jethro Tull, isn't it?
I'd be having a chat with Gaza before you do any flute celebrations. That can cause you a world of pain. Also, I don't know if you heard this, the Haiti players, according to one of the papers the other day, their main diet in the build-up to this game was pickled cabbage, oxtail and beans.
Really?
So no wonder there wasn't particularly tight marking from set pieces.
Not great in the tunnel.
Doesn't sound great, does it? Well, not great.
Yeah,
not great in the tunnel. Not great midships, as you might call it, Andy. The word of the day.
Word of the day.
Yeah.
The tabloids love a sort of survey of Gen Z, and it says here, this isn't the start, nearly a fifth of clueless Gen Z think Amazon tycoon Jeff Bezos was England's hat-trick hero in the 1966 World Cup. Brilliant, isn't it? That can't be true, is it?
Fantastic.
Some 17% reckon the billionaire scored 3 against Germany rather than Sir Geoff Hurst.
Rather than giving him the medal on the day, someone came a day later and threw it over his back garden fence. Yeah.
This proves that this survey isn't right, because this here, meanwhile, 1 in 5 of those aged 14 to 29 didn't know England had ever won the World Cup, and a third thought that 1960s Cockney sitcom star Alf Garnett, not Sir Alf Ramsey, was the Three Lions manager. How would they know who Alf Garnett is? That's nonsense.
Well, that doesn't sound right, does it?
That's definitely not right. Quick, Linford, he's been...
Oh, yeah, this is down there. I might imagine the letter writers to all the tabloids have been in full force, have they? As now underway.
No, I've got at least 3. He's been very big on the World
This
Cup.
is Brian Linford of Pontefract, who writes to the Star. You're a big fan of.
Oh, yeah, very big.
Writes in capital letters when he wants to accentuate a point, like
Can I find
John
that?
Irving's Owen Meany.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
What have you got?
I quite like them when they've got a lot of forward slashes in them. No, this one hasn't. Right. Oh, dear! Exclamation. BBC Wayne Rooney in capitals on a 2-year, 800,000 contract. Now a W Cup pundit. Sadly unimproved for a top 6-week event needing top TV skills. Micah Richards is carrying Rooney and Giroud too. What must TV star Gabby Logan think? Square pegs, round holes. Right now sees Keane, Neville, Wright, ITV 1, BBC 0. Come on, BBC, for licence fee payers. It's not really good enough, is it?
Well done. Well, blimey, contentious stuff there from Brian. We're going to be having a chat with Alex Brooker very shortly, and Roy Keane's controversial short set that he launched the World Cup in. We'll be looking at that amongst other things with Alex. Before that, though, as promised, we did ask our old friend Ali Ross, who's out for the World Cup with the Tartan Army, maybe to report in. And so the morning after the night before, when they got those big 3 points against Haiti, Ali sent us this little postcard from the Tartan Army.
Paul, Andy, hello, and apologies for sounding a little bit hoarse this morning. I spent so long gasping and exclaiming in admiration at the subtle intricacies of Scotland's play against Haiti last night that it's taking its toll on my larynx, as you can maybe hear. I'm also hoping that none of your listeners or you stayed up until the early hours of the morning. Otherwise, all pretense is gone at this point, and I will have to admit that it's down to the howls of frustration and utter panic at Scotland's complete inability to master even the basics of football that has left me in this condition. And yes, alcohol may well have played its part also. In other words, so far, classic Scotland trip, in as much as everything has been absolutely brilliant about this, apart from the football itself. But hey, we've only got Morocco and Brazil to come, so oh dear. Worst things probably lie ahead. Anyway, I miss you both, and fondest regards, Ali.
Oh,
there we are. Thank you very much. A very good piece today in The Sun about his experience, and you know, honest. I think Scotland fans will be.
Hello,
are they shutting us down? I just noticed all of our screens have gone off. Anyway, they're back. Fantastic. So Alex Brooker joins us next. We will be discussing once again why Gordon Strachan had to eat 4 flakes overnight during that game in bed. And lots of other matters besides some of the minutiae of this World Cup through Alex's eyes. We're here, as always, with our very good friends at Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
I think when you look at Bellingham, especially like the last game, You know, he started the game, and within the first 10 seconds, he'd pressed the ball, and he went out for a throw-in, and that sets the tempo, doesn't it? But something about him, Neil, I'm with you. It's like he knows that this country should be winning World Cups, and he's got that bite about him when I watch him play.
It's just the arrogance. I love the arrogance. I must tell you, when he was at Birmingham, I remember playing against him. I think he was 16 years. I had a good, tough lad in midfield, and I said, "Listen, you're playing against a kid tonight. Just sort him out. Just you normal thing. Get stuck in, and he'll not want to know." And he actually ran the game, and I was watching him. I was thinking, bloody, I've never seen anybody like this at that age. He's amazing. He was.
You need the character. See, people sometimes in football, you need an arrogance about you. All right, yes. And to do what he's done at an age that he is, go to Germany. Now he's gone to one of the biggest, if not the biggest, club in the world, and he knows he feels like he belongs there. That takes a certain confidence and arrogance. And I think sometimes, Neil, it can be misinterpreted by the public. That there's an arrogance.
It is.
That they don't quite understand.
No, I think it is by the public, but I think managers, you want that bit of arrogance from players like him, because if you're going to win anything, your top players have got to come forward, and he's that one that when he's on fire, he knows he can do anything he wants in that middle, and I just love that, mate. I just I watched him in that 90 minutes, and I thought he was the one that really pleased me more than, even though I'm glad that we've gone back to the wide lads. I love the wide lads. Gordon, Mediocre, Saka, Rashford. In playing them four, they could win us the bloody cup if they all get the finger out.
I think as well for me, Neil, in the last 6-7 months, all I've heard is, from some people in the media, idiots, I might call them, Bellingham. No, look what Thomas Tuchel said. He's made other players feel like they can't play, the pressure he puts on them. I'm like, if you're a senior pro and Bellingham's affecting your game,
Let's see those arms. Well, not if you're driving, obviously. That's Rod, who was at the game, of course.
Yeah, he couldn't cheer.
The weekend.
A bit like Ali, he lost his voice.
That's right, he had to call off a gig because he'd lost his voice, so he had to internalise it. Not like Gordon Strachan. If you're just joining us, the breaking news from the Strachan household, and he's upset Mrs. Strachan. He ate 4 flakes in bed during the game. A whole pack of 4 flakes because of the nerves. Anyway, we played Auld Lang Syne because when the Dutch scored their first goal last night, they seemed to be playing Auld Lang Syne over the PA.
It's a strange thing to do.
And I thought, hang on, they're putting linking arms. I think Alex Brooker, who joins us now, can get to the bottom of it. Hi, Alex.
Hey, fellas, how are you?
Yeah, we're good. So you know about these things, Alex. Why are they playing Auld Lang Syne?
So I saw it and I thought it was strange as well. So I actually found out basically it's a song. It's called Vi Houden van Oranje. It's called We Love Orange.
Right.
And it's by a bloke called Andre Hazes, and it was released during the 1988 European Championship. So it was like the the official song.
Ah.
There's an amazing video online of all of the players, Ruud Gullit and all of them in their tracksuits behind him as he's belting this out. But what I love most about it is it only got to number 3 in the Dutch Cup.
I wonder what got to. Was it Joe Dolce that kept him off the top with "Shut up in your face"? Can you imagine? I mean, like, I don't know how you deal with your nerves, and if you comfort eat when you're nervous around a game of football, watching the Arsenal or England, but for Gordon Strachan to 2-3 o'clock in the morning to eat 4 flakes in bed, it feels quite epic.
Just by the name, I mean, a flake is a risky chocolate bar to have had.
It is in bed.
If you'd have had 4 boosts, it wouldn't have been as bad. A Yorkie, you're safe with it. There's not as many crumbs. But that is wild, 4 flakes.
Yeah. I mean, Mrs. S wakes up in the morning, turns around, and she's thinking, what's happened here? It's just chocolate. There's chocolate all over the shop. Gordon's asleep because he's just about got off to... maybe we should try and get a call in and find out more. Let's hear a bit of that song. I believe we can bring you that.
Hear a bit of Gordon eating a flake.
Yeah, there it is. The one that only got to number 3. Now, the World Cup kicked off in quite controversial fashion on ITV when they cut to the New York studio, and there was Roy Keane in shorts, a kind of matching shorts and short sleeve floral shirt number. I can give you more. Matt Slate from The Athletic looked into it.
Oh, yeah.
He was styled by... I mean, Roy Keane was styled. He was styled by...
You can tell he's been styled.
By Wax London. But it just struck me, if that was any of his old Ireland or United teammates on the telly, he would have been saying, get some trousers on, man. Look at the state of you. I mean, he's and in the end, Mark Pugas is going to be saying, what are you wearing or who are you wearing tonight?
Pugas looked like he had pyjamas on the other day.
Now, Wrighty's always been a close horse. We know that. He's always well turned out. But it was a bit of a shock to see Roy in his shorts, wasn't it?
Yeah, what I love most about it is that kind of the outfit is saying, I'm off for an Aperol Spritz, but Roy is still all business. He's in the flowery shirt.
Yeah.
But he's still got no patience for silliness. Patience.
It's the outfit of a man you sit next to at the bar when you're on an all-inclusive holiday, and you sit there where the missus is still getting ready. She needs another hour. So you go down to the bar and you chat to this Irish fella. He seemed ever so. I didn't realise it was Roy Keane. I didn't recognise him in that flowery shirt.
You chat to him. I wouldn't even talk to him at all.
But it's right. I tell you, do you know what who Wrighty was wearing? According to Matt, Wrighty was wearing.
They go on the red carpet.
Yeah, Wrighty is mainly wearing Universal Works. That was a local boutique in Kensal Rise. Supra, he buys a lot of his stuff from them. But let's look out for more of Roy's outfits. Definitely.
You have to be careful wearing shorts on live television. During the Rio Paralympics, I wore a pair of shorts that somebody very high up at Channel 4 deemed to be far too tight.
Oh, no.
Really?
And I was actually banned from wearing shorts for the
Really?
rest of the Paralympics.
It wasn't the sort of Alan Partridge pop out the side scenario, was it?
It wasn't. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but I thought they were fine. But apparently they were. I was genuinely. They came in the next day to the office and I looked.
There was an outline, was there, Alex? A very clear. It was like you were the lead singer of Cameo.
Roy's beard. I'm quite fascinated by Roy's beard.
I mean, if Channel 4 have a show where people are completely naked, then go out with each other, and they wouldn't show your shorts.
That's a good point, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, how bad was it that they prefer to have lots of naked people but not your shorts?
If they'd have revealed me in instalments, it would have made a proper show for them. But there you go.
Oh, dear me.
Now, Roy's beard, I've got to say, he started off for the New Zealand game.
Yeah.
He'd obviously had it very nicely styled. It looked great. And then it grows so quickly that by that picture that we saw there, he started to morph into WG Grace.
It's getting longer.
But they re-trimmed it yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see how
I wonder,
how it goes.
It'd be great if he did a sort of Abel Xavier and had it like bleached out, wouldn't it? It just that and the hair. It's just he's becoming suddenly in this World Cup we see a more metrosexual Roy.
I've got a lot of time for the person who's been put up to style, Roy. I can imagine kind of taking him different outfits.
Yeah,
it's true.
That's a nervy. That's a nervy. We've put these together, Roy. Tell us what you think.
That's true. It would be really. You'd go in there, be sitting in his throne, wouldn't he, in New York? And And they're sort of saying, he said, I'm not wearing that, that's a blouse. There's certain things he will balk at, definitely.
You're wearing, talking of clothes, you're wearing a Columbia shirt, aren't you, I think?
Yeah, I've gone for the Columbia shirt today, fellas.
very
I'm trying to
nice,
find a nice little retro shirt for every time I get to...
You need the Valderrama wig, though, to just keep
Absolutely.
We've had an England robbery, we mentioned earlier on. Somebody tried to nick a load of stuff out the back of a van. It looks like they've got it all back. I mean, the last thing we would have needed is like Harry Kane losing his lucky Skechers, his lucky boots.
Really?
What I saw is a lot of people, they were saying that it would have been a concern for a lot of the players because they had personalised boots, but I'm sure they'd have been all right with just a different pair.
You think they can just wear anything? I suppose it gets inside your head, though. It's the superstition of not having the boots you would want.
And if it's made to your last, I'd like to bring in a cobbler term there.
What's that?
The last. If it's your last.
If it's your last what? What is this? Who's on first?
No, the name of the thing. When they make a shoe, the bit that fits your foot exactly. It's called the last.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, well, then,
I was just seizing upon it for comic purposes.
Well, thank you very much.
Who's on last? There was a great clip from Turkey. There was all these people watching the Turkey-Australia game, and then someone realised it was like a big watch-along outside. I don't know if you saw this, Alex. Then somebody realised it was actually a computer game version of it. It was.
PES.
It was. They didn't realise the game they were watching. That's just imagine that that feeling. That's what you think. Hang on, that would be very strange, wouldn't it?
I once had a mate. We were on a stag do, and I got up the next morning. He was watching cricket, and he thought it was live, and Ian Botham was batting. That's how drunk he was.
He's made a comeback.
You got to sleep this off here. I don't know if any of you saw. My favourite thing from the weekend was in the Sweden-Tunisia game last night. Yasin Ayari scored a couple of goals, but he didn't celebrate the first one. He scored for Sweden, didn't celebrate the first one because his dad's Tunisian.
Yeah.
So bit of dual nationality, he didn't want to celebrate the first one. The second one, he goes off cupping his ears.
What happened? What happened?
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just made me laugh so much. The first one is he's not going to celebrate, really respectful. Second one, straight off, cupping his ears.
Brilliant, isn't it?
That escalated quickly. Harry's completely gone off of Tunisia in the space of about 25 minutes. Yeah.
Did you see the shot of I think it was in it was the Japan-Brazil game.
Yeah.
There were three blokes in what I call like the vertigo suite. Like they were really high up.
Yeah.
With beers in front of them. I thought, blimey, I wouldn't fancy that.
Well, we had a little sight in the England game in that friendly. Who was that against? Who did they play? Costa Rica.
Oh, yeah.
Of those three blokes sitting behind Declan Rice when he took a corner at a little table, stuffing their faces.
Yeah, that's
a little table near a corner flag. I mean,
I could do that.
I thought it showed how far we've come as England fans in a major tournament now, that they're happy for us to have garden furniture inside the stadiums. Normally it's sort of you get lobbed in the squares.
Yeah.
But now they're like, you know what, England fans are all right.
It'd be very tempting just to wipe everything off that table, though, wouldn't it? With I remember years ago, Paul Gascoigne used to, in the warm-up, used to aim at Tot and Ham, the two mascots, to try and knock one of them over. So it would be very tempting to send someone.
Like Stan Bowles when in his autobiography when he sees the FA Cup there. I think it was Sunderland.
They played Sunderland 3 days after Sunderland won the '73 FA Cup, and he was sick of all the Sunderland chanting. So Stan. I think they were winning at that point, QPR. So instead of running towards goal, he ran to the side of the pitch and knocked the FA Cup off of a table with his shot, just to wind up the Sunderland fans.
That's what you want, isn't it?
So the legend goes, anyway. So you enjoying it so far? How's the sleep deprivation, Alex?
I'm loving it. Well, do you know what? It's one of those things I've realised with this World Cup, just how different it is. I'm getting older now, because there was a time when I'd have been like, you know what, I'll just go through and watch all these. Whereas actually the other day, I found myself waking up in the middle of the night for a wee and catching a bit of the Scotland game.
Yeah, that's I know. Because you know it's on, don't you? So you've got to go and watch it. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the sort of thing. You know, it's like when you wake up in the night, don't look at your phone. Whereas now it's like, don't catch a little bit of the football.
Yeah. That old phrase, if you want to get ahead, get a hat, it's never been truer than Graham Potter. Graham Potter emerged to Sweden training in a basically a cowboy hat, a 10-gallon hat the other day, and they've gone out and scored 5. So it's Graham Potter's lucky cowboy hat that could. I wonder if it'll take them all the way to the final. I suppose you'd have to burn it when they finally go out. So.
Amazing turnaround for Potter, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Given about left West Ham, his stock didn't feel that high. Now he's managing Sweden in the World Cup, and they absolutely thrashed Tunisia.
I've got a theory about it. I was saying earlier that I just think something in his personality that chimes with the Swedish people. They're a particular type of.
Well, I think what
he's
it
quite
is,
a soft, gentle sort of bloke.
his stock is high in Sweden because of what he did with Östersunds and the job he did. So other players are thinking, oh yeah, Graham Potter, he worked miracles in our league, and his stock is high. Whereas maybe at club level, in a couple of those jobs, not quite so much.
No, it's just good. And I think Sweden, they look decent. I mean, and Alexander Isak as well. I mean, he's not played barely this season. Fortunately for Liverpool, he's not been fit. He scored a great goal in a friendly the other day. Looked good again last night as well, albeit against Tunisia, who weren't particularly great. But yeah, it's amazing.
So I think we're all going to start watching the games through our own club prism, aren't we? I mean, I'm looking at players who haven't even signed yet in Van Ecker and players and thinking, oh, he looks all right. So, well, Alex, we will catch up with you soon. But good to talk to you. Thanks ever so much.
Good to chat to you, fellas. Take care.
There's Alex Brooker there. You can listen to the How to Win the World Cup podcast, a whole raft of them in the build-up to the tournament, still available with Matt Ford. They're a good listen. And, of course, Alex still on the last leg, but he'll be joining us throughout the tournament to look at some of the weird and wonderful moments that we've witnessed so far. The Scotland fans have done something quite spectacular, which has been noticed by a Boston native. Glaswegians will probably guess what it is. We'll run it past Shaban when we join her in Charlotte in the Scotland camp a little bit later on. And also Charlie Adam will join us. We'll see what Charlie made of that performance and where Scotland go from here. Very happy to hear from you, Scotland fans. What are you getting up to on your bank holiday day off, the World Cup bank holiday? If you're off to the World Cup, we spoke to Neil earlier on, get in touch and tell us what your plans are. And we'll talk a bit of England as well, whatever you want to talk about today. Hydration breaks and where you'd introduce them in real life. Talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH&J, and to give us a call, 03717 223344. Just one quick domestic story. Being reported that Brighton have made a £30 million offer to Spurs to Luka Vuskovic, who had a brilliant season, was one of the Bundesliga standout players last year. I think the optics of this, with the ownership, everything that went on last season, would be very poor. I mean, apparently it's a £30 million offer, but I just cannot believe Spurs would sell Vuskovic. They might loan him, but they certainly won't be selling
Van Hecker in the...
because there is potential, and you don't want to get too much hyperbole, but this could be a generational talent that Tottenham have got, and 30's far too cheap.
It's a big call, isn't it? If you're Tottenham, because obviously they're bringing in reinforcements of their own. I think it's going to be a really busy summer, both in terms of incomings and outgoings. But this is a genuine offer from Brighton. I've not been told if it's been accepted or rejected yet. You would imagine it probably will be turned down. Not too many teams accept the first bid that comes their way. I think key. The player fancies the move. He fancies going to play for Fabian Herzl, who probably thinks he'll get more game time at Brighton, more of a pathway into the first team than he would at Tottenham. But you're right. I think the Spurs fans want to see him at some point in a Tottenham shirt playing week in, week out in the Premier League. So I'm intrigued to see how they respond to this offer.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Well, look, keep wearing the hell out of that hat and enjoy the game tonight, Crookie. Thanks for joining us.
Crookie.
I will do. Cheers, guys.
Take
Keep
care.
up the good work.
It looks good.
There's Alex Crook there over in Dallas, where England will play their first game against Croatia. Luka Vuskovic, who's almost certain to start. I mean, he brings the average age of the Croatian team down by about 60 years because he's 19.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
They've
he's
got
some player, this kid.
Don't believe everything you read. Jordan Henderson doesn't recognise some of the stuff written about Jude Bellingham, who he calls a great teammate off the field and on it.
And what he gives us is just something really special, really. I think he really gives us the X factor in our team. He's had big moments in his career. He's a big game player. He's got experience in tournaments.
England versus Croatia is live on talkSPORT on Wednesday night. Meanwhile, Isak and Gyökeres both scored as Graham Potter's Sweden beat Tunisia 5-1. Amad Diallo nicked a win for the Ivory Coast over Ecuador. Watching for us is talkSPORT's Mickey Gray.
The future's bright, isn't it, for Ivory Coast, certainly in those wide areas. Diamonde, a real star, isn't he? I mean, he's got great feet, wonderful ability.
Liverpool are keen on Ivory Coast winger Jan Diamonde. We understand RB Leipzig are holding out for over 100 million for the 19-year-old. Now, as Scotland wakes up for its World Cup bank holiday, Steve Clarke's determined to enjoy himself. He's thankful to have a great squad.
They've had bad results, but they've never let me down. And that's why I can come to a tournament like this and enjoy it. I've never been to a World Cup. I've waited 62 years to be at a World Cup. I've been in football 44 years. This for me is everything.
And Tyson Fury rocked up to the White House wearing a Donald Trump for Prime Minister baseball cap. Justin Gaethje beat Ilia Topuria to take the undisputed lightweight title at the UFC Freedom 250 event on the White House lawn. More at talksport.com.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. We're ready for the action. Are you? Visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18 plus. GambleAware.org.
Yes, time now to catch up with all the odds thanks to BetMGM. We're joined by Alex Licence from BetMGM to look at today's top sporting events and discuss the latest odds. Hi, Alex.
Morning, guys. How are we?
Yeah, we're not so bad. I'm just waiting. Was it a better weekend, football-wise, for the bookie or the punter? Because we didn't get a lot of shocks, did we, as such, really?
No, it's hard to say, really. But, I mean, we've seen a lot of goals, especially yesterday, didn't we? And then a lot of action for the Premier League players. Van Dijk scored, didn't he? Somerville scored. Gravenberch, 2 assists. Havertz, Wirtz, McGinn, all involved. So you'd imagine with the English punters, they probably look for those Premier League names. So when the numbers come through, I think we might have took a little bit of a hit on those games.
I did have a little flutter on a bet came up for me, which was Van Dijk to score from a header any time. And knowing the Japanese weren't great from set pieces, it did feel like a good one. And of course, it came off, I'm delighted to say.
Perfect. What price did you get on that?
I think it was 11-1. On a little special. It wasn't too bad.
Very generous, isn't it?
Yeah. I think it was just one. I mean, like, obviously you guys at BetMGM will be doing little ones like that, little specials along the way. So we'll keep an eye out for those. Scotland, what effect has it had on their odds of making it through to the next stage, that win over Haiti, Alex?
Yeah, it was... It wasn't pretty, was it, for Scotland?
No.
But, they got the job done. And last week you was on with Sean, my Scottish colleague, if you remember. He's actually jetted himself off to Spain for a week on the back of that win, which I thought was a little bit extreme. To be fair, I did say it was only Haiti, but each their own. Scotland. Well, they now sit top of the group, and they just need a point now against either Brazil or Morocco to secure that qualification. Although the current 3 points could actually end up being enough, depending on the other third place teams.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking at Scotland's, they are now as short as 2-13 to qualify from the group.
Wow. Okay.
So obviously in a really strong position. And then Well, they're 4-1 if you think they will end up going out in that group, and then we've got some markets on being knocked out in the knockout. So 4-6 to go in the last 32, or 13-4 to go out in the round of 16. Where do you guys see them
Well,
finishing?
I think it's pretty short because they're going to need. I think they're going to need something from either Brazil or Morocco.
Yeah, they might need another point.
3 points and just one goal, depending on what the results are against.
It's whether Haiti. I mean, look, they created the opportunities and should have scored certainly one goal, that header towards the end. So who knows? If they're playing, they could be playing a sort of nervy team. Although Brazil have got them next. It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult to know whether three points and one goal, if you like, is going to be enough. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how it shapes up. Acca-wise, a lot of people would have had their Accas over the weekend. There were a couple of Acca busters. I imagine people would have gone with Holland to beat Japan, although that might.
No, I fancied Japan.
The draw would have been
far,
a sensible bet. But certainly Turkey, that was your Acca buster. Most people would have fancied them to beat the Aussies, Alex, and that didn't happen, did it?
Yeah, I know they would. I mean, Sean, I think it was Sean tipped to six-fold accumulate with yourselves, and well, Switzerland obviously were held to a draw against Qatar, weren't they? That was a bit of a blow. Like you say, Turkey beat them comfortably by Australia, and then Netherlands. But well, I suppose people might have backed to Netherlands, but you weren't you quite keen on Japan?
Yeah, Andy especially was. I mean,
I don't think they're going to win it, but I think they can get to the quarterfinals. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. So we're going to have our first look at Spain. Although, with respect, they're probably not going to be up against much. It could have shades of Curacao, Germany about it. And the final, the dying embers of the golden generation for Belgium as well. We're going to see today, aren't we?
Yeah, 4 games tonight. Like you said, Spain, tournament favourites, kick their campaign off against Cape Verde. They are obviously the European champions, but haven't had much joy in World Cups of recent times. They've not actually won a knockout game since they won the whole thing in 2010. As you expect, very, very short prize tonight at 1-20 to beat Cape Verde. The draw at 10s and then Cape Verde out at 25s if anyone fancies a major upset. And then after that, we've got, for me, the game of the night, the most interesting game of the night for sure, Belgium facing Egypt, as you say. Belgium, no issue scoring goals. They scored the most goals in UEFA qualifying, 29 in just 8 games. And I suppose when you've got Doku, Trossard, Lukaku, you can see why they don't struggle, especially with De Bruyne and Tielemans behind them. But yeah, the defence looks really suspect, and you would imagine that's where the downfall will come. You look at a couple of names, Castagna and Goy and Munier, it's a bit of a far cry from the days of Vincent Kompany, Vertonghen and Alderweireld, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then Egypt, well, they've never actually won a game at the World Cup. This is the 4th attempt. But of course, have Mo Salah and Omar Mamouche going forward. So they should cause some problems. We've got Belgium favourites at 11-20. The draw at 27-10, and then Egypt just above the 4-1 mark at 22-5 to beat them.
I think there'll be quite a few people going Salah and Doku, little doubles with you, because that would be quite tempting, wouldn't it? Maybe not goals, but certainly shots on target.
Yeah, you'd think so, yeah. I'll just have a look at that double for you. Did you say Salah and Doku?
Salah and Doku, yeah. I mean, goals might be bold, but you'd certainly fancy him as maybe one of your bet builders, really, because there'll be 2 to look out for.
Well, if you do fancy both of them to score, that's 13-1.
Okay.
But then, as you would imagine, shots on target quite short. Just above the even mark if you think both will get 1 in the game, though. So that might be a nice little bet builder booster to get your odds up if you fancy those two to have a decent game.
Nice one, Alex. We'll catch up with you later in the week. Thanks a lot.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Alex Licence there from BetMGM. That's all the latest odds thanks to BetMGM. You can visit betmgm.co.uk or download the app. 18+, begambleaware.org. We will be very shortly in the Scotland camp in Charlotte with Shabana Hearn.
It's showtime on talkSPORT with BetMGM. Keep things golden with responsible play at betmgm.co.uk. 18+, gambleaware.org.
what about the World Cup? Is the US of A ready for the World Cup? I went out with producer Luke and assistant producer Joe in the streets of Lower Manhattan yesterday, and we kind of gauged the feeling. You lot ready for this?
I think the country will probably be most into it right in the group stage, because that's probably when we're going to do the best, unfortunately. You know, I think there are great soccer towns in America. I'm not sure New York is one of them.
Not that much this year, to be honest. With the Knicks in the finals, I think that's taken the attention of the city.
It doesn't sound like they're buying tickets, so, I mean, only so much. Yeah. I mean, they're not really buying into it. Did they not sell out the first game? Is that what I heard?
I don't follow soccer that much, so no. And then as a person that lives here, it's going to be quite disruptive for us. So, you know, but hey, should be a good event, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's at MetLife Stadium, so there's a lot of attraction there. You know, the Giants play there, the Jets play there, so there's going to be a lot of people flying in from overseas to check out the games for sure. Yeah.
So it's the biggest World Cup ever. Might it be the best World Cup ever?
I hope so. Yeah. I mean, right now it's just Knicks, you know, but we'll get to the World Cup when we get there.
You gotta watch something. You gotta support everybody.
Okay, and the USA are in it. Obviously, they're one of the host nations.
But we ain't gonna win.
No? Who'll win it?
More likely gonna be Spain.
Yeah, probably. How's Birmingham, Alabama?
Hot, mosquitoes, a lot of loud talking people.
Birmingham, Alabama. Wow, as the song goes.
That's where you can say howdy, y'all.
Howdy, y'all. I'll remember that next time when I'm down in that part of the world.
Happy World Cup bank holiday to our listeners in Scotland, but no day off for Shaban Hearn. We'll chat to her very shortly in Charlotte, North Carolina, with a Scotland camp before that. Scotland and Spurs' very own Andy Robertson spoke to Shaban after the win against Haiti.
But Andy Robertson, full big smiles, Andy. Come on, Scotland.
Yeah, unbelievable to get the 3 points, to win the game, to keep a clean sheet. It was a good start. We can play better, of course we can, but it's the great start to get the first win, first game. We need to now kick on.
Did you guys underestimate Haiti? I think a lot of us and the fan base might have.
We've been watching them for the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we've seen the quality they can bring. We can see how difficult they can be, and I think they showed that. I also think we defended really well, and I think we limited them to, you know, I can't really remember them having a clear-cut chance, maybe the header.
By the way, pretty at the top of the group as well.
Yeah, we won't be getting too carried away, but you just have to win your first game. You know, I think that's so important. We've struggled with that the last 2 tournaments we've been at, and it kind of gives you an uphill battle from there. So, and now we need to try and get more points.
You're getting rushed off, right? Jason Cundy wore a Haiti shirt today on air. What a disgraceful man.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
He said he randomly picked it from a bag. It could have been any shirt. Yeah, I doubt if that's strictly true.
Fun, really. Don't react to it.
Hi, Shabam.
Hi, guys. Good to see you. Good morning. It's just before what time is it? Just before 7 o'clock here in Charlotte. We're back in Charlotte. The team hotel is just a couple of blocks up. So it's nice to get back to Charlotte. It's totally different to Boston, by the way, because, as you know, Steve Clark likes to give them that element of something to do, but you're miles and miles away from the fans here. There's not a lot going on at the moment.
There's a great tweet I noticed from a guy called Jay, who's a Bostonian. And he said, I've got a quick question for the Tartan Army. Why do you all keep putting traffic cones on the heads of our statues in Boston? It's a lovely touch. I'm just curious. So they've been doing the old Wellington at the Modern Art.
It's a tradition, isn't it?
Gallery, yeah. So, they're turning all the famous Bostonians into cone heads.
Yeah, do you know, there's a cone actually, Sam, just behind you there. Bring us over that traffic cone. We'll do the rest of that live with a traffic cone in my head and see Glasgow fashion.
Very good of you.
You're right. I mean, this is what they seem to be doing, and everybody just seems to be having a great time. And, you know, that way I feel like we've now made friends. We've made new family members with those in Boston. And I was having a look online last night when I got back here in Charlotte. Everybody absolutely loves the Scots. I don't know why we seem to go wherever we go and become friends with them. There's probably people sleeping on somebody's couch right now who shouldn't be there.
Ali Ross was saying that they were walking to the game, and this guy who'd had a drink, admittedly, he just came up to him and he said, I love you, Scots. You've been fantastic. And he trying to give him $75.
Really?
Which is quite random. It might have been the drink talking, but they're handing money to the Tartan Army.
Oh, God. Yeah. And what's funny, you know, tailgating's the thing out here. It's not the same as it is back home. Kind of all around Boston, you know, there's many car parks with just gazebos up, Scotland shirts, Haiti shirts. We're all kind of clubbing in together, having beers, playing ping pong, playing like throwing the beanbag through the hole. This is all before the football. You know, it was such a nice scene. It was a really, really pleasant kind of sight to behold, especially before a World Cup game. And, you know, we were all excited, well ahead of ourselves, I would have said. Andy Robertson kind of said that to me post-match a couple of nights ago. He said, you know, we were maybe underestimating, as in the fans, maybe we're underestimating Haiti, who did, you know, allow us to put in a decent shift the other night. And now there's less pressure going into the next game. But also, I think after that result, the amount of people who I've heard from back home, my brother-in-law, for example, I think my dad's even thinking, can we get out there? Can we get out there for the second game? So
Really?
Boston's been totally invaded.
Now, our team in New York, of course, have been dealing with all the Knicks fans going crazy after they won the NBA Finals. And Andrew McKenna's just been in touch. I wasn't aware of this. Thank you, Macca. He said Shaban may see quite a lot of Carolinians with a hangover today. The Hurricanes won the Stanley Cup last night in the ice hockey. So, you're probably going to get the aftermath of that.
I'm up for it. Where's the party at? Because at the moment it's pure dead round here. Everyone's sleeping. I'm outside the Spectrum Centre, which is the home of the Hornets, and today we're going to the NASCAR Museum as well. Wow. They've got a baseball stadium just a few blocks down the road as well. So here in the centre of Charlotte, it's a trading kind of city centre. So other than that, it can be a bit quiet. But when the sports happen, the guys say that it is absolutely rammed, this town. But no distractions, I would say, nearby for any of the Scotland team. A couple of the guys mentioned it in press the other day that they'd been taken down to one of the baseball games. And I don't know, who was it? It was like their version of David Beckham of baseball was there getting pictures with the Scotland team. They had no idea who he was.
He was probably the same. I would imagine. True. You know, he just that's the thing. That's one of the probably advantages is that
who are you?
The guys can go and do a bit of shopping and go and have a coffee, and they're not going to get mithered, are they? Because I would imagine most people in North Carolina don't know much about Scottish football.
Yeah, that's it. I think they're relatively kind of unknown here. They might see the top. Obviously, the staff are wearing the Scotland tops and their tracksuits and whatever like that. You might see them wandering around. But in terms of this kind of city centre, I wouldn't say it's a soccer kind of place. We spoke to brilliant kind of members of the community down the road the other night at this little strip. And there was 3 England fans there watching the England warm-up game. And what went from like this quiet little kind of sleepy, nice town to 3 traders who put England's kind of flags around their neck and started going all hooligan on us, which was good fun. It was really, really good fun. it just seemed like home away from home at that point. But in terms of what's going on here in Charlotte, quiet for now. And then, like you say, when the sport starts, everybody comes out.
Yeah. Where's the next game being held? Scotland's next game?
We're back in Boston, Andy, so we're here for 2 days. We've got press today, press tomorrow, and then we'll head back to Boston. I actually thought more of the media team were coming back here, but it turns out a lot of them are going to stay in Boston and stay with the fans and stay with the Scotland fans. Yeah. Honestly, they were great crack, for the last couple of days there. Just having the most fun, like you say, traffic cones on heads, causing no problems and making everybody happy. There's a good thread going around of one of the cheerleaders who works at the New England Patriots, and I think she's almost fallen in love with every Scot that she's seen. Anyone in a kilt, she's kind of putting up these videos. I said, you be careful there now, but we're going to try and speak to her when we go back to Boston. So I will give it a yay. Give it an S.
Yes.
Give it a C.
Oh yeah, you got the thing
so
there.
we'll do all that. We'll do all that with her when we're back in Boston. Yeah. I don't know what that was. I'm sorry.
It's going to be
I like
it. On a serious note, it's going to be interesting to see if the dynamics different. We're not used to sort of Scotland being in this position, top in the group. Normally, it's a good performance, heroic failure, chasing a result, trying to stay in the competition. They're in a completely different situation this time. They're kind of in the box seat. They've got 3 points. It's going to be interesting to see how Steve Clarke approaches it. We chatted to Neil, who's on his way over for the next game earlier on at Tartan Army. He said, I think we are going to shift it. We won't be playing 2 up front again against Morocco and Brazil. It's going to be interesting how they approach the next 2 games, Shaban.
I completely agree with that. I think we'll see him kind of revert back to type, be a team that's harder to beat, bank up that little bit more. It was refreshing though to see him go into the game against Haiti with the 2 up front, because I think a lot of the fans wanted to see that. And he doesn't have to listen to us, but I think he knew himself from the last 2 warm-up performances, and then that game at Hampden against Denmark, the goals that were scored, that actually, maybe it was wise to go 2 up top and give ourselves a real chance. Haiti were hard work, they really were. Maybe for some teams like England it wouldn't be that way, but they were a really hard team to play against, and in the wide areas they were really threatening. Quality in front of goal was not there at all, but they were a really threatening side, and I think they will maybe cause some problems going forward from here. But against Morocco, what we've seen from them, they look absolutely sensational, so I think we will be banking up against them for sure.
Yeah, if Haiti can nick something out of the other
think they
two,
can.
That really does help Scotland.
I mean, we'll float this at Tim Vickery later on. I mean, there is a world in which Haiti gets something off of Brazil, and Brazil are in trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to believe.
Impossible.
They did not look convincing. And then Scotland will finish them off.
Yeah, very physical. A lot of pace in these teams. Actually, when you saw them in doing the lineups for the national anthems, that's when I went, I knew Mark McGee had said a number of times, big physical side. That's when you really did start to see it. I thought, okay, then we were all over them for the first 10 minutes. Like I say, they really lacked in quality in front of goal, because I was just behind the goal and those shots from Bellegarde were like miles off it. So those areas they will struggle with, but I think they won't go quietly. They'll certainly put up a fight against Brazil and Morocco. And there's a lot of belief that we're going to nick another point. I think it would be against Brazil. I'm not sure why. I think I'm deluded. Usual there. But a lot of members of the Tartan Army think the fact that Boston has been good to us so far, everybody's settled in there. We've had our first win at that stadium, that we can go back there in a couple of days' time and get something from it. So it's nice to have that positivity, and it is the hope that kills you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Shaban. That's Shaban Ahern there in Charlotte, North Carolina. She'll be catching up with a lot of the Scotland squad over the next couple of days, and then back to Boston for the Morocco
Quite an
game.
advantage to play in the same place twice, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly an advantage for the Scotland fans who can base themselves there. So, with the World Cup now fully underway, talkSPORT's Predict 6 is officially live. If you think you have what it takes, then play our free game for a chance to win £25,000. Just predict 6 outcomes for a shot at £25,000. Head to talksport.com/predict6 by 5 p.m. tonight. That's talksport.com. Predict 6 for your chance to win £25,000. But entries close tonight at 5 p.m. T's and C's apply. UK only. 18 plus. 1 entry per customer. We are in the Brazil camp. See if they're getting nervy. What's the mood been like in Rio? We'll ask Tim Vickery, because it wasn't the most convincing of performances. We're in the USA camp as well, who had a big morale-boosting victory 4-1 against pretty below-par Paraguay, but still, are they daring a dream? And Charlie Adam will join us, more Scotland chat, see if he works his way through 4 flakes like Gordon Strachan in bed during the match. That's all to come in the final hour.
My problem is I think I try and turn things into a roast that aren't a roast. Like the Brits, I'm like, oh, this could be like a roast. And then I try to do roast jokes within the Brits. And then it's like, no, this is like primetime ITV.
But
it's a family audience.
I thought your gags at the Brits were fantastic, right? But that is the most difficult gig, I think, for a comedian. Because primarily people are going there to see the winners and hear music.
And get drunk.
And get incredibly drunk.
Incredibly drunk.
And also in such a big room that it's almost like... It's like whoever it is, not you, but it's almost like, can we get on with it so I can drink more alcohol?
Exactly.
And
it's the weirdest show to do ever, because also you have this weird little grace period at the beginning where you come on and for 2 minutes you feel like, you're the greatest showman and you're there and you've got all the eyes on you and they love you and it's amazing. And so you got 2 minutes of the greatest showman and then 3 hours of being a Wetherspoons bouncer at closing time. And you're just there trying to keep everyone in their seats, or stop them from standing up on the tables. I mean, in the one in Manchester was even more carnage than I've ever experienced.
I want to talk World Cup football to you, but just quickly on the back of that, have you ever nicked a Brit? Have you got one at home?
I've got, they give you one each year.
Oh, okay, fine.
But they give you one each year for hosting it. So I've got 6 Brits now, and they're not on my shelf because it just feels like a bit of a pity Brit. I haven't really earned that. Someone writes an incredible heartfelt album and wins their Brit Award, and then I just get given one for turning up, basically.
One of them.
Yeah.
Right, let's talk about the World Cup. What are you watching England game Wednesday? What are you doing?
I'm watching it with some mates in a pub. We booked a little space, and we're going to go watch the first game.
All right, how do you think we'll get on?
Sport.
Good afternoon, I'm Toby Gillis. Marc Cucurella has officially joined the Jose Revolution at the Bernabeu. Just under 52 million quid Chelsea are getting all in. He signed a 6-year deal. Here's Alan Pardew, who can see why he was a wanted man.
There's been a couple of times when he's been up against, I think Yamal sticks in my mind. I mean, Yamal, where he done an absolutely brilliant job on him. So, now and again, he can really keep a winger quiet, and he has that great ability to get forward as well.
The headlines are hard to read. He's got the X factor. What he gives us is something really special. Jordan Henderson on all the slander put on Jude Bellingham's name outside of the England camp. So what fuels it? Only last week, Darren Bent told us he's uncomfortable with it too.
Right, we've got a habit in this country of building players up and completely trying to knock them down. When Rooney had it,
Rooney.
Beck's had it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But people have had it where they've reached a certain level where they've almost gone past that top tier, and people are like, right, it's time to bring them down again.
England kick off their World Cup campaign live on talkSPORT on Wednesday evening, remember. And today's coverage begins with Cucurella's Spain against Cape Verde right here at 5 p.m. It'll be the victors and possibly Donald Trump, if he fancies it, on the podium for the World Cup trophy lift on July the 19th. FIFA have confirmed they won't stop the US president repeating his Club World Cup stunt and mooching about with the winners. Looks like Man United are about to save a few quid. Ruben Amorim's understood to have agreed to become AC Milan coach, which would massively reduce the compensation United have to pay him for his sacking. Amaro Itoje has once again been left out of the England squad by Steve Borthwick, despite an enlarged 33-man group being selected ahead of the non-cap international with France on Friday. It follows speculation the captain might be stood down for the summer schedule, with tests against South Africa, Fiji and Argentina on the way.
talkSPORT.
News.
The Prime Minister says he won't compromise on children's safety and happiness as he confirms a social media ban for under-16s. And the price of crude oil has dropped almost 4% after the US and Iran announced a framework for peace. More with Emma at past.
talkSPORT weather with QuickFit. This summer, treat yourself to Bridgestone Turanza All-Season 6 tyres with a 25,000 mileage guarantee. Book today at quickfit.com. Conditions apply.
A risk of some showers moving north and eastwards. Warm in any sunshine, although cooler on the east coast.
US football forecast on talkSPORT with QuickFit, giving your car the magic sponge and water bottle treatment to keep it going this summer. QuickFit, drive away happy every time.
Good afternoon, it's Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Charlie Adam joining us for a chat a little bit later on. We'll get his thoughts on the tournament so far and we'll squeeze in a bit of Scotland. Tim Vickery with Brazil very shortly. We're in the USA camp after their fine 4-1 victory against Paraguay. But it's time now to look at the latest weather over in the States, all thanks to QuickFit. Joining us once again, Fox weather reporter Stephen Morgan. Hi, Stephen.
Hey, Paul, Andy, good morning. Good afternoon to you guys.
Well, the cover of the Sun tabloid newspaper over here, 3 lions on alert. England aces put in lockdown. They are moved to a safe area. It says, England football stars scrambled to safety as severe thunderstorms rocked their World Cup base in Kansas.
Is that true?
Lightning felled power lines and triggered fires, while 80-mile-an-hour winds downed trees.
Crazy on Saturday. Listen, we had some severe weather in the plains. We knew it was going to happen. The question is, do we see a storm right over England's HQ? And we did. The airport in downtown Kansas City, Paul and Andy, recorded a 79-mile-per-hour wind gust. I mean, having the widespread fires is a bit much, but I think the fact that the storms moved through on Saturday, I looked to see if there were any official reports of tornadoes. There was only one in Kansas. It was on the other end of the state, but it was just very strong winds that we had, actually similar to what maybe an EF0. It's how we rate tornadoes here in the States, the enhanced Fujita scale, EF0, EF1. It was wind speeds that strong. So pretty powerful storms on Saturday.
Yeah. Are you a little bit surprised they've based themselves in an area like that? I mean, I'm sure geographically it works for where they need to travel to, but I mean, it is an area that does see some tornadoes and some bad weather generally, doesn't it?
Yeah, I maybe a little surprised. It's not just England that's headquartered there, right? I think Argentina is also based in Kansas City. A few other teams that are. I think strategically, it's the middle part of the country. I told you guys on Friday, it's the area that I grew up in. And that's actually where, when it comes to shipping and transporting goods and supplies, the middle part of the country is where you have all the headquarters. So yeah, while it's not the best for weather because that's the zone, it's actually the zone known as Tornado Alley here in the United States where we have the highest frequencies of tornadoes. Wow. It includes Texas, Oklahoma, as well as Kansas City.
So we're in Seattle today for Belgium, Egypt. We're in Atlanta for Spain, Cape Verde, and we're in Miami. And we've seen what the weather can do in Florida already around some of the friendlies. So what does Seattle and Atlanta have in store for us today?
One little fly in the ointment in Seattle. It is going to be warm, unusually warm. In fact, we're going to have temperatures reach Fahrenheit in the low 90s. So that could possibly be a problem. We're talking 32, 33 degrees Celsius. So that could be an issue in Seattle. It's only for today. Things are going to cool off by Tuesday into Wednesday. Miami, though, what we say here, Florida is going to do Florida today. We've got storms. Actually, looking at all the games, I think it is the Miami game, the Uruguay and Saudi Arabia. That's the one that could have some problems, maybe similar to what you all saw with England in Orlando last week.
Yeah, we could. I mean, we haven't had any delayed kickoffs so far, but maybe we could tonight. Brilliant, Stephen. Thank you. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. There we are. That's Stephen Morgan there from Fox Weather over in New York. And that was our weather update. All thanks to QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
US football forecast on talkSPORT with QuickFit. Like a super sub that keeps your car in the game this summer. QuickFit. Drive away happy every time.
I was reading last week that there was a warning from the Severe Weather Centre channel. What a great channel that must be. I never miss a show.
Are all the presenters quite severe?
It's a strange neighbourhood.
Let's stay in the New York area, shall we? United States got off to a flying start in Group D, a 4-1 win over Paraguay. I was dead chuffed as a Tottenham fan for Mauricio Pochettino. He'd been under a bit of pressure. But as you always say, Andy, he's a bit of a slow burner. There were the signs that he was getting to grips with the team. I mean, what can we read into it? Because Paraguay were poor, but it was a bit of a statement performance. Let's have a chat with US soccer expert Brian Sciaretta. Hi, Brian.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Was it better than you expected? I mean, on the face of it, it looked a good performance with some good goals.
Yeah, I mean, the first half alone was one of the best halves the U.S. team has ever played, as long as I've been following or watching. And so, yeah, I mean, they were just all over Paraguay from the very start. Everything was going right, and they could have scored even more goals than they did. So, yeah, I mean, I think you can't go in expecting that level of a performance right off the gun at a World Cup, but. They did it, and they look like they wanted to be here. They were, some host countries do this. They're inspired by the crowd. They want to make the most of the moment, and that's what they did. It was very inspirational to watch that team perform that way, and now gives them a strong start here at the World Cup.
And in a country like America, where there's so many other sports, this is a good thing for the tournament, isn't it? That America have started well, and if they do well, then the momentum will grow. And the interest will grow.
Yeah, I mean, that's the hope. You remember 1994. Of course, that was a different starting point. I mean, the sport was non-existent. I mean, at this, visibly back then, it's far different now. There's a league. There's all the major leagues of Europe are on television here now. Obviously, the domestic league's doing well. So, it's a question of now getting that enthusiasm to stick, and certainly, if this team wins a knockout game, at least one, I think that's the goal everyone wants to see. So yeah, I think if that happens, then they're in good shape. But in terms of the health of the sport, it's in the groundswell of enthusiasm. If they make the knockouts, I think everyone's going to be talking about it. Everyone's going to be watching it, even people who don't regularly follow the sport.
I think we're going to claim Following Balogun as one of our own. Grew up in East London, born in New York because his mum was too heavily pregnant to get a flight home. He took a bit of persuading, but I'm sure he's glad he threw his lot in with the USA. It was a great performance by him, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was it was a great performance. I mean, the U.S. wanted him to play for them for a long time. I think he felt that when he's starting to produce, in Europe and France and elsewhere, he wasn't getting the English call up. So I think eventually he decided, let's go with the U.S. And, it's worked out really nicely for him. I mean, he's embraced the team, and the public has embraced him. And that was his defining moment. I came in not knowing if he should be starting over Ricardo Pepi, who came off a fine season at PSV, but man, I mean, Pochettino made the right call going with Balogun. That was a great performance, and and when you have a confident striker, that's a big asset in the World Cup.
What's been the reaction to the win from sort of non-football lovers? Has there been a sort of swell of interest, or are they still really going on about the New York Knicks?
Well, the Knicks are in this area. The New York area doesn't define the rest of the country in terms of public enthusiasm. I think the people know about the win. I think people are curious. Well, they beat Paraguay. What does that mean? And eventually, you realize that this is a team that beat Brazil, Argentina, and Uruguay in World Cup qualifying. So, it's not like they beat Curacao or anything like that. They beat a real team that's very good. And I think it's one of those things that one win's nice, but it's a cumulative effect. I think they win a couple more games, then all of a sudden everyone's talking about it.
Well, next up, it's Australia. Both teams with 3 points. That's Friday night at 8 o'clock our time. And hopefully, Brian, we'll catch up with you before then to preview that game. But for now, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, guys.
Brian Sherratt, they're over in New York. We're going to head from Rio next, where I'm sure there's a fair bit of contemplation going on.
Yeah, not happy, I don't think.
Not a particularly good performance by Brazil. A wonderful goal, but maybe therein lies the problem. So what has been the fallout since that 1-1 draw with Morocco? Only one man to ask. That's Tim Vickery, our man Tim Vickery. Getting a lot of love on the beeb, he was as well. It's like some people have just discovered him.
I know, some bloke said, where have you been? You've got to use him more.
Well,
You should have been listening.
He's been on
to
here for about 25 years, I think
Yeah.
you'll find. Charlie Adam will join us as well to talk a bit of Scotland and some of the other trends, some of the other stuff he's liked and not liked about this World Cup so far. And then we'll hand over to Jim and Simon live from New York at 1 o'clock. We're here, of course, with Selco Builders Warehouse. It's where the trade go.
Wasn't the best performance from Scotland, but it doesn't really matter. In fact, it doesn't matter at all, actually. But an important win, really important. They got 3 points.
You know
right?
what? Haiti were better than what I thought they'd be. They got Bellegarde from Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Yeah.
Got Isidore from Sunderland. Obviously, the rest of the players don't play at the highest level, but they were better than what maybe people thought they would be. They're like a lot better than Curacao, a lot better than South Africa. Scotland did their job. They weren't great. John McGinn scores. That's 1 goal in a World Cup for a pub player. And the guy called him a pub player. No goals in the World Cup. Just throw that shit out there.
Yeah.
But Scotland,
What?
Because third place only goes through 8 out of the 12 groups.
Well, would you like a little stat?
Go on, then.
According to Football Meets Data, or Data, do you put an R in it?
Data.
You don't? Data.
Data.
That's the way,
Data.
yeah. If Scotland lose both to Morocco and Brazil, a goal difference of -1, so if they lose 1-0 to both, offers an 87.5% chance of progression.
That's the thing. I think they do lose both. But could they have, went and got 2 or 3? Because we said that before the game. Scotland might need to get 2 or 3 against Haiti.
Yeah.
Because of the goal difference. Because Brazil are going to get better as the tournament goes on.
Are they?
Morocco are a very good.
I saw the Brazil game, and
I think they'll make changes, mate. I think you got Ryan, you got Hendrick available.
Yeah.
If they make a few changes, I could see them improving. But Morocco are the team that scares me, mate, if you're Scotland.
I agree with
Scotland
that.
changed their tactics. They played 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Shankland and Che Adams, so they go back to maybe a 5 at the back and try and keep the score down. But must-win game. Could have even equalised at the end. Had a header, Haiti, that went wide. But Scotland probably would be a bit frustrated that they didn't get 2 or 3.
Are they through Scotland in your head?
I don't think so.
You don't think they're going to go through?
No, I don't think so.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think they'll go through?
I'm not sure. I'm 50-50.
Okay.
Because it's only 8 out of the 12 teams, and I look at the goal difference. I think it's still up in the air.
Okay.
Now, our working hours here, Andy, means it's quite difficult for us to watch the 3 a.m. kickoffs.
It is.
Which is why we asked you to be part of our army of creatures of the night. Those nocturnal beasts that are quite happy to be up at 3 o'clock watching games of football. So we, and quite a lot of the talkSPORT listeners, don't have to. We're going to hear from Hash now. He's a Manchester United fan. He kindly stayed up for the 6-goal thriller that was Sweden versus Tunisia.
My name's Hash and I'll be taking you through the game between Sweden and Tunisia. What's wild is Netherlands and Japan drew 2-2 earlier tonight, meaning whoever wins this game goes to the top of Group F immediately. Graham Potter looks interesting as the Sweden coach. So let's see how this goes.
Ball comes out, shot comes in, and it's rifled in to the top corner. It's a brilliant strike from Yassin Ayari.
Oh my word, what a finish by Yassin Ayari. Absolutely leathered it into the back of the net. From nowhere, absolute hits through the ball. It was a great shot.
Isak left, he's driving in towards the edge of the box. Lashes a shot, it's gone through the keeper and in. Alexander Isak doubles the lead.
Oof, 2-0 Sweden. Alexander Isak with his silky style of football. He runs from his own half, takes it very, very, very early in the opposition half, runs the length of the pitch on the left-hand side and just slots it home. In my opinion, keeper should have done better, but double Sweden lead. They really got a grasp of this game now. Oh, what a beautifully glanced header by, I don't know who it is, Tunisia number 4.
Great goal from Omar Rekik. This time Hannibal gets the delivery right.
Hannibal started to really take this game by the scruff of the neck for Tunisia. He's starting to do bit. If he did this for Burnley, they might have actually stayed up. No, maybe not. So it's half-time here. 2-1 currently to Sweden. Tunisia are pressing on the door and they look confident in front of the defence of Sweden. So I'm going to predict 2-2, I think. Not been an amazing game, but it's definitely been decent to watch. Ooh, Victor Gyökeres makes it 3 to Sweden. Alexander Isak snatches the ball off the centre-back for Tunisia. Coolly starts it through for Victor Gyökeres. He's not going to miss from there. It's 3-1 Sweden. I mean, you know, it's 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm sitting here watching Sweden versus Tunisia, and I would not be anywhere else in the world right now. This is what the World Cup does to you.
All played into the edge of the area. Chance here, and the man who's just walked on the field has tucked it in the back of the net. Sweden 4-1. Shot comes in, and they do have a fit. What a strike!
So the final score is 5-1 to Sweden. Victor Gyökeres and Ayari getting on the score sheet in the last, not going to lie, I've had a seat for the last 10 minutes, so I missed that, unfortunately. 5-1, very convincing with Sweden. Ooh, I'm off to bed. It's 5:30. Bye.
Well, there we are. Good man, Hash. Thank you very much.
Great bit of work.
I hope he didn't have a bet on 2-2 at half.
I know, that was funny. We said 2-2 at half.
So if you would like to be one of our creatures of the night, you can give us a call now, 03717 223344. If for whatever reason you find so, whether it's through work or you just quite fancy getting up in the middle of the night and watching a game for talkSPORT, being our reporter.
Wonderfully authentic.
Yeah, good work, Ash. 03717 223344. You can have a chat with our producer now. Register your interest. We're getting a little army of creatures of the night. But let's turn now to Brazil. Very unconvincing performance by them. And joining us now, our man in Rio, it's Tim Vickery. Hi, Tim.
Very good morning to you. Yeah, a bit like your man there. I missed the last 2 goals there from Sweden last night, and I've got a 4-hour time advantage. So,
there you go.
So, Tim, what's been the fallout? I mean, you know, I would imagine people aren't happy. They're a little bit concerned by what they saw.
Certainly are, yes. Yesterday, I was my wife. This is relevant, honestly. She makes crochet things, right, and sells them at a Sunday market. And she's been going big on Brazil stuff. You know, stuff that you can watch. The discerning woman can wear her stuff to support Brazil in the World Cup. And so I was there helping her out for a while yesterday. And the comment you keep getting is, "Oh, it's not worth buying this. We'll be eliminated next week."
Wow.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it is a really manic, depressive sporting culture. They can go from, we are hopeless, we haven't got a hope, to we're unstoppable, no one can live with us in 20 seconds. But at the moment, it's there's a downer on them, which I have to conclude, my friends, is not good news for Scotland, because I think that had Brazil won the first two, then you can take the foot off the pedal for the third game. Now they can't. And even if a big win against Haiti, because the pressure is on.
Yeah.
The pressure is on them to find the blend. Ancelotti's getting some serious hammer. It will bounce off him without any problems. The players is a different matter. I feel very, very sorry for poor old Igor Thiago. It's not his fault. It's not his fault, but he is being singled out as a symbol of the disappointing first performance, and some of it is Ancelotti's fault, because he keeps trying to solve problems that he himself has created. It's Brazil's campaign so far, the whole build up and so on. It's been a giant thing of whack-a-mole. Yeah, all right, we got a problem there. Solve that problem. Hang on, solving that problem has just caused another problem. I'll solve that one. Caused another problem. And they're just chasing their tails around at the moment while Ancelotti is still looking for a blend. He, I think, is gloriously unconcerned, because there's an interesting cultural clash here. Because the old Italian mentality, you do as little as necessary. It's all a little bit of a phony war, the group phase, the thing will start in the knockout phase. Fair enough. But in Brazil, you're only really allowed to take your foot off the pedal in the third group game if you've won the first two. You're supposed to go into it hot, not go into it still looking for a blend, which is what Ancelotti is doing.
I think a lot of English fans, though, and a lot of Chelsea fans, definitely were really surprised. Igor Thiago had a wonderful season for Brentford, but he's not as good a footballer as João Pedro. He just isn't.
But if he scores that header, I mean, it's a different game and it's a different performance from him, probably. I mean, that did shape his performance. I wonder, you reckon Cunha will come in for the next game, start the next game, Tim?
Yeah, and that's not just because Igor Thiago missed that chance. It's because the team doesn't make any sense. The idea is, I mean, if you see it, I know he's had to put in the third man in midfield, who was Paquetá, who's also getting some hammer.
Yeah.
But the idea is for Vini and Rafinha to stay up front. It's a kind of, even with a third man in midfield, think of it from a starting point of 4-4-2. And so Cunha, the idea of Cunha is that he sacrifices himself so much, he will work back in midfield and he'll work the left flank as well, thus freeing Vini. So Vini doesn't have to come back. When in first half, when it was Igor Thiago, Brazil weren't defending down that side at all. And it meant it's that gave Morocco their dominance in the first half, because they could exchange some short passes and then always hit that space where Hakimi was running forward free. They were much, much better second half when with Luis Enrique came on and played wide right and Cunha came on and did that role left. They had the pitch covered. They were much, much better. But the thing is, you're supposed to have warm-up games to work this thing out. You're not supposed to be doing it during the course of your opening World Cup match.
Are we underestimating Morocco then? They're got some good players, pretty decent team.
Oh, yeah. Yes. But I don't think anyone expected in Brazil to be dominated to the extent that they were in the first half. And Morocco didn't really create anything second half until that shot in stoppage time, where Alisson, I think, got himself in trouble because it's going wide. And Alisson gets over there and makes the block and then has to make a very good second save that had he let it go because it was going wide, he wouldn't have had to make. But apart from that, Morocco didn't really threaten. And it's one of those where a draw suits everyone because, all right, fair enough. With the other teams in the group, both are now expecting to qualify without too many problems. And I think, Ancelotti will be, raising a Roger Moore eyebrow and saying, the battle is not always the race is not always to the swift, nor the battle to the strong. The World Cup is all. I think he's always seen this as a phony war, and the thing gets going when you get into the knockout stages.
It just depends on where you finish and who you draw, and
Yeah, that could affect it. I mean, you can see you've now got a week of a steer. It's not until, was it Friday night your time? Is it when the game's going to be played? So a week of sort of fans getting very. But you could see a world in which Haiti put a chance away, one of those chances they didn't put away against Scotland. Then the pressure is really on, isn't it?
Yeah, although looking at that game, can you see, because the thing that Brazil have is just incredible individual talent, and we've seen quite a lot of that in this World Cup already. How the talent can tip the balance, and thankfully, it's been one of the themes I think of the World Cup so far, that the talent is tipping the balance, and how many teams can play as badly as Brazil in the first half and still go in level.
Yeah.
Because, and Vinny, how do you mark him? When he's on song, how do you mark him? He goes outside to create that chance for Igor Thiago. He comes inside and plants one into the far corner. And while they've got that individual talent, you look at the defences of both Haiti and Scotland, and you're thinking, are they going to be able to live with that for the full 90?
We're out of time, Tim, but just very quickly, will Neymar, I mean, he was on the bench but wasn't going to come on. Do you think he could get some game time against Haiti?
Possibly off the bench, but he's been out for a long time. So maybe the third game just to ease his way back in slowly. But it's a bit unfair now to see him suddenly as the saviour, because I tell you, his form this year really doesn't justify that position. Yeah. What he should be now at this stage is a support player, not the main man.
Well, it's going to be interesting build up to the next game. Hopefully we'll catch up with you Friday, Tim. Thanks very much.
Look forward to it. Cheers.
Tim Vickery
it's
there.
A dramatic group, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's made it a really interesting group. So anyway, Charlie Adam will join us. We'll talk about Scotland and more. And then Jim White and Simon Jordan are live from New York at 1 o'clock. That's all to come.
For you, Carl, obviously playing right back, you would have played against these two guys, and we don't quite know which one will start, and that's Anthony Gordon and Marcus Rashford on that left-hand side. Now, you've played against both. I'm not going to say which one's better, but what differences are there between the two, and what makes both of them as good as they are? Obviously, Rashford being at Barca, Anthony Gordon just got the move to Barcelona. What are the differences between the two?
I think that just says it there. There's not really much with one team signing them both, and wanting to take them because they fit the personality that they want to play the game at. I think, listen, they're both extremely quick players, and they both got an eye for goal as well. The main thing is that I feel that in tournaments that I've played in previously to this, there's not been many other goals than Harry Kane, and that's what we need to find. And as having one of them on the pitch, with Bakaya or Noni on the other side, I think they need to bring some goals into it.
The fullback situation. Reece was a little bit more reserved last night than O'Reilly. O'Reilly, we know he's a midfielder that plays left back. He's an 8 that can be a 10. He's incredibly talented. I mean, you'll know all about him, right? Reece, I felt, was a little bit more structured to his game. And maybe that's because of his hamstrings. Maybe they're managing that. I know at Chelsea they've had to manage that because there is some fragility in and around there. How important is that, though, that Nico Riley does that job on that side? Because his link-up play is exceptional. He really is a major talent.
I think you can't take that away from Nico. What he's done at Manchester City and arriving in the box in areas that you don't expect a left-back to get into just shows what he does offensively. But I think Reece James played a very intelligent game last night. From watching it, he managed himself really well. You don't need to peak now. Reece James needs to peak in the knockout stages. Please God, England get to that, and that's when we'll see the best from Reece James.
Did you hear about Nico O'Reilly coming through when you was at City? Because for me, it felt like he just came from nowhere and exploded. Did you hear about him? Because you always hear about whispers in the youth team about, have you seen him coming through? Did you hear much about Nico O'Reilly before he made
of course you see him. You train with him. You train with him when the kids come up and they train with you. Nico was always up there, but did I expect for him to do what he's done this season? Definitely not. I mean, he's played everywhere. I think to get the trust from...
Don't believe everything you read. Jordan Henderson doesn't recognise some of the stuff written about Jude Bellingham, who he calls a great teammate off the field and on it.
And what he gives us is just something really special, really. I think he really gives us the X factor in our team. He's had big moments in his career. He's a big game player. He's got experience in tournaments.
England versus Croatia is live on talkSPORT on Wednesday night. Meanwhile, Isak and Gyökeres both scored as Graham Potter's Sweden beat Tunisia 5-1. Ahmed Diallo nicked a win for the Ivory Coast over Ecuador. Watching for us is talkSPORT's Mickey Gray.
The future's bright, isn't it, for Ivory Coast? Certainly in those wide areas. Diamonde, a real star, isn't he? I mean, he's got great feet, wonderful ability.
Liverpool are keen on Ivory Coast winger Jan Diamonde. We understand RB Leipzig are holding out for over 100 million for the 19-year-old. Now, as Scotland wakes up for its World Cup bank holiday, Steve Clarke's determined to enjoy himself. He's thankful to have a great squad.
They've had bad results, but they've never let me down. And that's why I can come to a tournament like this and enjoy it. I've never been to a World Cup. I've waited 62 years to be at a World Cup. I've been in football 44 years. This for me is everything.
And Tyson Fury rocked up to the White House wearing a Donald Trump for Prime Minister baseball cap. Justin Gaethje beat Ilia Topuria to take the undisputed lightweight title at the UFC Freedom 250 event on the White House lawn. More at talksport.com.
Yes, good afternoon. Paul Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs here on talkSPORT. Off to New York where Jim and Simon at 1 to build up to today's games. We'll have a look at today's games a little bit later on in this section with Charlie Adam. But, of course, we're going to talk Scotland first. And one of the more interesting facts we've learnt today is that Gordon Strachan was so nervous as he watched the Haiti game in bed, he ate 4 Cadbury's flakes in bed.
It's a lot. At least he didn't have ice cream with each one.
No, that's true. It wasn't a 99. Let's see how nervous Charlie Adam, the former Scotland midfielder, was. Hi, Charlie.
Good afternoon. You okay?
Yeah, we're
Good,
not.
Charlie. How many flakes worth nervous were you, Charlie?
Yeah.
There was definitely no flakes. Maybe 4 cups of coffee. That was the thing, trying to stay awake. But no, it was a brilliant result, and it's been such a long time for us in terms of being there, but also as well winning a game at the World Cup. Just sets the lads on hopefully a good journey now for Friday night.
I don't know if you've had a chat with anybody in the camp, but we were saying earlier on at Shaban, it must have changed the mood, because normally Scotland don't find themselves in this situation. They're often chasing groups in Euros and World Cups, whereas they're in a good position. They should be taking a lot of confidence from the performance and the 3 points, and the fact that they were so resilient.
Yeah, I think the performance is something that we look back and go, it probably wasn't our best performance, but we've managed to get the result, which is really important. But again, like you say, really important that the lads have enjoyed, maybe a day or so with their families after it, recover, train, and then prepare, probably to start preparing today for Friday, and looking forward to it. And I can imagine the buzz around the camp, a lot of smiling, a lot of laughing, a lot of joking, because that's what a win does for you, not just international level, but at club level. Winning games keeps the camp together, real good spirit. I think the boys have got that anyway, but that added win will make a huge difference to what training looks like this week. And again, now Steve and his staff will be thinking, right, what's the team that's going to be best suited for this Morocco game? So could be a couple of changes, we don't know. But it's a nice way to start a campaign, and hopefully, this is just the start of something that could become really special for these boys.
Morocco were really good the other day, scored a very good goal. But as Tim Vickery was just saying, with a few tweaks, Ancelotti found a way to keep them quiet in the second half. So I'm sure Steve Clarke will be having a good watch of the videos from that game.
No, absolutely. And I think also as well, I think Steve might tap into Paul Clement a little bit as well, in terms of, because he's on Carlo's staff. So maybe asking a couple of questions, what he thought and how he thought the game went. And trying to get some idea of what Morocco we're going to do. They'll watch analysis. If I've seen Alan Irvine work in terms of how he does his analysis for the games, and it's really, really top level. And they'll be fully prepared, ready to go on that. But you've got to remember, these two teams, Brazil and Morocco, are 6th and 7th in the FIFA ranking. So, we are the third best team in the group, and it's going to take another momentous effort from these group of players to get anything out of the game.
They're very short odds with the bookmakers to qualify, so they certainly believe in it's really they only need 1 point from either game or for the other two to drop points against Haiti. So if they do that, they'll definitely qualify, I think.
Yeah, again, that we're looking at that, but you can control what you control, and that's yourself. And if you can get that sort of 4 points, which would definitely guarantees a position in the next stage, that would be brilliant. It'd be nice to wrap it up, and we can actually say we're going to rest a few against Brazil. So, but it's not going to be easy. The Moroccans they got to the final of the African Nations, won it by sort of default, really, but. They're a good side with good players, like Hakimi and people like that are in the team who just won the Champions League. So, Diaz, Real Madrid. So they've got very good, talented players.
I don't think Scotland will be walking off the pitch, though. Seems unlikely.
You need a bit of luck in these games, Charlie, don't you? As we saw with there could have been a red card with a high foot and the Pero header. I'm sure everybody had their heart in their mouth. You did as well as you're working through those copies. You must have thought he's not going to miss this, but thankfully he did.
Yeah, no, to be fair, they had some opportunities, didn't they? And also, again, there was the shout for the handball as well for a possible penalty. But yeah, you need that little bit of luck, and you need the moments to go for you. And they definitely went for us the other night. But I can't imagine the pressure inside the camp, because Steve would have spoken about it, no doubt about that, to the players. Listen, lads, this is an opportunity for us to really cement our status in Scottish football in terms of getting to a World Cup. But can we go and win a game? It's been a long, long time. You could be the next team. This is a special group of players, and yeah, they've done it. But we need to park that now and start focusing on this Morocco game, because it will be very tough.
Yeah, they did kind of miss Billy Gilmore a bit. The kind of control he might have given him in midfield.
Gannon Doak looked good.
No, he did. I mean, wide, he was standout. He was fantastic. But
yeah, he's a young player that's come from Celtic to Liverpool. Didn't really get the going at Liverpool, but then found himself going to Bournemouth. He's probably not got real rhythm in his game yet. Still a young player. Speaking to people inside the camp, he's a confident lad. He's got personality, and he wants to play, which is great. But the Morocco game might suit him with more space in behind. So it'll be interesting to see how he is. He's coming off from the back of a big hamstring injury as well, so they'll have to monitor that. But yeah, Gilmore's a good footballer that can get you on the ball. I just felt at times the other night that McTominay and Ferguson kept coming to the ball, and maybe only needed one of them to come and link the play for us, and the other one could go higher. You've seen that with McTominay when Robertson made the cross. He goes and makes the box, and he gets up and he makes a brilliant header. So I'd like to see him closer to goal than deeper. But again, that's what Steve and the staff will be looking at. Do we change the formation a little bit? Do we tweak it? Or do we go the same players that got us the result the other night? So a lot of thinking into it. But yeah, Billy's one that can control the game, and it's something we need to improve on definitely, is with the ball. And we need to be able to put more passes together and try and take that sort of momentum away from Morocco's game.
That's interesting. So you can see a world in which, because it's a winning team, that he stays 4-4-2, because I think the expectation is he'll go one up top for Morocco.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I think it depends on what way he wants to go in terms of is it Adams, is it Shanklin? They look to be the ones that are in verb. I think Dix comes on and makes a big difference to you as well. So yeah, I expect him to go with one at the top end of the pitch and probably go with two sitters again. There's a possibility he might bring a Ryan Christie to come in and play alongside a sort of Lewis Ferguson and push McTominay higher to then be able to press on from maybe in that 4-4-2 position, but have that extra body in the middle of the pitch, which could help us against the Moroccans.
Yeah, because McTominay didn't. I mean, he hit the post with that shot, but he really didn't get as involved as you would hope, and that might free him up to do a bit more of that.
No, again, but that's what I'm saying. When you sort of playing a little bit deeper at times, I prefer him to be a little bit higher and playing in sort of like a pocket, a little bit of an 8 position where he can actually make the box and arrive in the box. You've seen that, obviously, I said it before about when Robertson makes the cross, he makes the box really well. He's got a lovely leap on him, and just got underneath the header and it goes over. But he's got real athleticism to get into the box and get up and down the pitch. But I think with this Morocco team, I think we probably need that sort of 2 holding midfielders, really diligent. Possibly a Kenny McLean might come in and sit alongside the Ferguson. So yeah, different dynamics and different sort of way of playing. But we'll have to find a way of trying to nullify them, but being brave on the counter-attack, which I think could suit Scotland.
Next game is at 11 o'clock at night, so you won't have to watch it.
That's right, yeah. I don't know how many...
It's not too bad then. I won't need to stay up till 1.
I just very quickly, out of a practical thing, when the game finished, were you able to go back to sleep, or were you too...
You must have been buzzing, especially after all the coffees.
Yeah.
No, I actually managed to go back to sleep. I got back to sleep about 4:45, and then I got up the next sort of day about 9:30. So I managed to get about 4 or 5 hours sleep, which was fine. I'm one of these that can sleep anywhere. It just took me probably half an hour to switch off from the game and the excitement and enjoyment, because again, as a supporter, as a former player, as a supporter, the buzz was incredible. And even now, just watching social media and looking at, I've seen the Scotland fans when we're at the Red Sox last night, and they made an atmosphere there. It was just really special to see so many Scotland fans there, and the lads can actually just get that result and that performance for them now to have the break, but also as the supporters now to enjoy their week again back in Boston. Not too much travelling, and it looks like they've enjoyed themselves and be preparing ready for Friday night.
Well, we're going to have a quick look at tonight's games with Charlie. Charlie Adam is with us, the former Scotland midfielder. We'll keep chatting in a few moments' time. I hand over to Jim and Simon in New York at 1 o'clock, but we are here with Selco Builders Warehouse. Check out this month's real deals at selcobw.com.
First player up front I've gone for Neymar.
No, mate, honestly.
What do you mean? Don't start. I'm giving Neymar a free roll as well.
Mate, Neymar, the most overrated footballer of his generation. I'm not having it.
Conde, don't.
No, I'm not having it.
Don't,
no,
I'm a big Neymar.
No, he doesn't
overrated.
He does the most overrated footballer of his generation.
Oh my God. At Barca.
No, not having him. Not having him. Not having him. Nope, not having it. Nope. That's the music stopped.
Conde, please, mate.
No, not Neymar.
Who's a better player? Neymar, Hazard.
R9. Oh, give me Hazard every day of the week, mate. Mate, give me. Is it? No, don't get me on the Neymar train.
Okay. R9's playing with him. R9's
take Neymar out.
But no, mate, come on. Neymar. Pace.
No.
Skill.
No, he's got a heart the size of a...
Yeah, but mate, he made you enjoy football watching him.
No,
that's a typical centre-half.
No, do you know, no, give me R9, right? I'm not having Neymar. No, not at any price.
Neymar, Suarez, Messi.
No, give me Hazard, give me anyone. You don't want Neymar in your team, mate.
What do you mean?
You don't want Neymar in your team?
What he won with Barca?
What he won?
Well, he's part of it, mate. He was outstanding.
No. Here's a stat. When he left Barcelona, he never won a major honour again. And don't give me...
He left Barca for the dough, didn't he? Obviously, to PSG.
Well, that goes down. It's a black mark in my book.
Know, but...
No.
Conde, we've become very close, mate.
No, I know, but we're going to fall out of a Neymar.
Yeah, it could be, mate.
No.
Please, mate.
No.
Wow.
No. No. Scrub him out.
Let's break.
Scrub.
All right. He's out. Thiago's in. Thiago, you in from Brentford. Go on, mate. You're in. Show us what you got. One season.
Hello, I'm Matt Fordham from talkSPORT. This is How to Win the World Cup.
This is the best squad I think England have ever had.
He used to love America, now he doesn't. It's very sad.
It was so important to succeed because of all the pressure we received.
Don't jump for this one, I'm going to knock his head off.
Warning, this podcast does not guarantee England will actually win anything.
Charlie Adam, the former Scotland midfielder, is with us. Just a quick one on Virgil van Dijk. He got man of the match last night. He scored, of course, for the Dutch.
It was a great shot of him just waiting to see if the ball was going to sneak in. It was brilliant bit of camera work.
Yeah.
But he got caught out a couple of times, didn't he?
He did. They got him behind him a couple of times, the Japanese players. He's taken a bit of heat this season, Charlie, at your old club, Liverpool. I mean, how do you kind of view where he's at the moment? Because this is probably his last World Cup, you would think.
Yeah, I get it. And again, it just his performances this year have probably been, because he set so high standards for himself at the levels that he played at. I didn't think that his partner beside him helped him a lot this year. Kanate at times and different there. But again, staying fit, being available. I think he played every minute for Liverpool in the Premier League, which is an incredible achievement to where he's at. It's a lovely goal. It's a brilliant cross from Gravenberg, and he just nudges the Japanese defender just as he's about to get the ball, and he knocks it into the bottom corner and sneaks in there. But yeah, again, it's not just, as Van Dijk will get a lot of people to criticise and go, but I thought there was a lot more than just him. His performances over the season had good moments, had some tough moments, but again, that worry was in behind. I thought at times for Liverpool that on the counter attack they caused themselves so many problems. They were too open at times, and that's, as a centre-back, you don't want that 1v1 because at times, let's say last night, the Japanese, they're fast, they're quick, sharp in behind, and, but it was a decent game, and delighted for him to get that goal because that, say he's a leader, and everybody will be looking to him to try and make a big impression for the Dutch national team. And that was one thing he was always capable of doing last season, popping up from a set piece and scoring a header. So yeah, he's a huge danger. He's very good at. He just gets some brilliant. He's got a brilliant way of moving. He can just shift his body so quickly, and that was. Was for the 5 months I was in Everton doing the set plays. We had played Liverpool a couple of times, but he can just get you to a position where he goes and checks to go one way and then gets across you really well. To go right, lovely. He's got brilliant movement as a centre back in an attacking set play position, and defensively he's colossal at the back in terms of going and winning it. So yeah, real threat for the Dutch, especially in this World Cup for them with Van Dijk at set plays.
We get our first look at Spain later on this afternoon, Charlie. A bit like Germany, Curacao, with respect, I think I'm duty bound to say to Cape Verde. It could be a
6-0.
Feels like a bit of a workout. I'm not sure how much we're going to find out about Spain that we don't already know from this game.
No, but again, it's like you say, these boys that are, you have to respect your opponent, which they will, and I think Germany respect them in the right way. It was brilliant to see the Curacao lads scoring. I think Dick Advocat was actually in tears when they scored the goal, and it was amazing to see the enjoyment of the goal from the whole team. I was at Scotland Curacao quite recently when I was picking up my pro licence at the Hampden, and the fans made an unbelievable atmosphere. There was at least 1,000, 1,500 of them there, and they made a brilliant atmosphere, and looked like they did that, and really enjoyed that moment for them. And that's special moments for Curacao, Cape Verde, people like that, if they score a goal or getting to the World Cup's a major thing, but being actually to contribute and get a goal like that was special for them, and something their players will live long in the memory as well for their players. So no, it was a brilliant occasion, obviously getting beat against the Germans, which the talent is there, and again tonight we'll see the same with Spain. You're looking at their squad, it's full of unbelievable talent.
Just quick one on the hydration breaks, because there were a lot of talk about them today, and we
Yeah.
saw Curacao at 1-1 lose a bit of momentum. Not that they probably would have gone on and beaten Germany. And we also saw Ancelotti able to basically sort things out from Brazil's point of view in that game. I mean, where do you stand on them?
Well, I'm not a big fan of it, but if I'm a coach at the World Cup, I'm delighted with it because, like you said about the momentum swing changes in a game, that's the moment. It's so difficult as a coach to get information on the pitch, sometimes because the atmosphere, the noise, to get that real information on. But when you know that you get that break coming, 3 minutes for me is probably a long time. But it's what it stops is the goalkeeper going down, which is what's happening every week. It doesn't matter what level you go. If it's League Two, if it's going League One, Championship, even the Premier League and the Champions League, goalkeepers are going down to try and get the coach to now get information onto the pitch. So it's probably a different dynamic as well. I think there's also a financial input in this from America in terms of with the break or water break, that there's some financial sort of thing for as well. I'm disappointed in it. I don't like it. But if you're Ancelotti, I think the moment of that water break changed the whole dynamics of the game in terms of getting back into it and getting some rhythm and getting continuity in his team and getting some real good tactical information. So if you're a coach, you're delighted. But as a supporter or someone watching from the outside, yeah, it's not a great way of looking at it. But we're not surprised. There's a lot of good things going on in America in the World Cup I've seen, and I'm really happy with. But yeah, that was a disappointing thing.
If you fancy another 2 a.m. kickoff, I've got Iran versus New Zealand for you, Charlie.
Yeah, that's right. Get the coffees out, Charlie. Get the coffee machine on.
I think we'll pass on that.
Yeah. Nice one. We will catch up with you later in the tournament, Charlie. All the best. Thank you.
Pleasure. Good to speak to you.
Thank you.
Charlie Adam there, former Scotland midfielder. We kick off tonight with Spain versus Cape Verde. That one's at 5 o'clock. Then we got.
Might watch the first half, I think.
Oh, I'm going to watch the game, I think. Belgium, Egypt. I'll certainly be watching that one.
I will watch that one, yeah.
Not quite the golden generation, but still a lot of quality in the Belgium team, and Mo Salah to boot. First look at Uruguay at 11 o'clock.
That could be a very good game.
Uruguay.
Saudi surprised a lot of people in the last World Cup.
Yeah. Dance and Alvin Martin, your commentary team on talkSPORT 2. And then the one Andy will be up for.
Yeah, can't wait.
Iran, New Zealand. Ollie Klink, Kevin Hatchard and Perry Groves will be covering that. So 4 games for you. It's really starting to hot up. 4 games this evening and into tomorrow morning. We'll be back tomorrow to pour over all of those and other matters besides. Some of them. Well, we'll catch up with some highlights and we'll have a creature of the night weighing in as well.
Yeah, we have.
So thanks for your company this morning and this afternoon. We'll see you tomorrow from 10 a.m. Coming up next, live from New York, it is Jim White and Simon Jordan.
I think you've got a couple of positions that Rashford, Gordon, the centre halves. I know Peter
Saka one on the. How fit is Saka?
Yeah, how fit is B? I think you look at it. Morgan Rogers. The big one is Morgan Rogers and Jude Bellingham. Who's going to start? Who's not going to start? Can you fit them both into?
Who's starting?
No, Benny, come on. For me, Morgan's had a fantastic couple of years at Aston Villa. A fantastic couple of years. And to see what he's done for Man City when I played with him when he was coming up through the youth team to then go and do what he's done now, it's not shocked me, but it's a great step in the right direction to where he wants to be. But I think Jude's done it for season in, season out. Obviously, he's had a little bit of an injury season, we're going to say, but Jude's quality is still there.
Let me ask you then, Charlie, because you've been an outside perspective, because all the fans, obviously English fans, are going to say, we're going to win it. And after last night, we're definitely going to win it. After what you saw last night, I know you're going to say England are one of the favourites, but can you see England winning it, or do you still think there are other nations out there that look better?
No, I do think there is other nations that have got a real good